Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today. School TV. This one you got today.
And that's right, folks. This is Spoon 107.5 FM. We also live on Fabric 101.1 and Super 95.5 FM here in Liberia. Welcome to another edition of Spoon Talk here on the Spoon Network. Let me join the panelists, beginning with Dr. Francine Chino with Richardson. Good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Diamond, hello. Good day. How you doing?
Ma. All right, how you doing?
We hanging in there. All we can say.
Okay.
Today
is Friday. All right?
Yeah.
Everything on point?
I won't say everything on point, but we thank God.
All right. God money or. Just a God money or.
Yeah, God money or. Yeah. Diamond, you're too funny, man. So
yes, you can tell una greeting for Real Madrid people. Take a greeting for them.
Who they call Madrid people? Are you?
No, you can't be cool. Yeah.
Stop speaking all that Liberian deep slang then to me because I can't that generational thing. I don't get it. So
she wants to say something, but she don't want to come straight.
Yeah.
Why? Well, I even understand that other one. How you want to say something, but you can't come straight?
Well, you
know you want to say something, but you don't want to come straight. We're not even there.
Yeah. They got trouble. Yeah, you see that training trying to lose me here.
No money, and I can't. Nothing to say. Wow, not yet. That was it.
I see Leo.
She wants to say something, but she don't want to come straight. She want to be capping.
Don't you money, man. Don't go down around with them. Lead them. Let them go by themselves.
I know, right? There you go. It's a good Monday. Good Monday over here. It's always the start of the week, and we want to welcome all of our viewers, our listeners, our audience to Spoon Talk tonight. I promise it's going to be another fascinating episode of Spoon Talk. We're going to be giving you the news as we know it and filtering it and then feeding it back to you so that you can be informed as to what is going on in our country. All that you hear from us is basically all the research we've done, a combination of all of our knowledge and things that we know that is happening. So it is up to you then to make your best decision in deciding how to make Liberia a more deserving place. So I want to thank you for joining us. Share the show if you didn't do that yet. Actually share the show. Participate in the comment sector as well. I'm going to move over, circle back to, I see James Good is shaking his head. What are you shaking?
I hear the kind of introduction before.
Hey, good day.
That minute when I get you a chance to do.
But tell the truth. Since we've been on the show, she now been introduction that day.
You know, good prof. Now I call him today. That Oma call him today. That the reason
Yeah,
why
I did not want my number. Could you give me that number there so I can call over there to be
What?
you.
See the way you're doing the introduction, they should not even start your boy. You should not catch everything.
I know.
You know, easy.
I'm making
the
sure everything correct.
The Oma ready
Making
today.
sure everything correct today, you know. So Diamond, I'm gonna circle back to you. And let you tell us the trending news in the country. And Diamond, I want to tell you something before I forget, because it's been a couple of days that after one of our show that you and Good Day were producing on, I got a call from at least 2 persons who told me that they really enjoyed the way that you did the show and they wanted your number. So I'm going to pass it on to them. This is a teacher, educator. She was watching the way you are pronouncing words and how you are speaking. So that's to tell you that people monitor everything that we do. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to pass on. She's going to contact you by messenger if that is
What? You say she? I beg you, yeah. It's okay. It's
Come on,
okay.
James.
It's
Come
okay.
Okay, can I?
In a word of gender
It's
balance.
okay.
Come on.
Look, good day, I beg you. So I just wanted to pass.
It's okay.
Okay, Dr.
No,
Richard.
listen.
You can
So
definitely do
I
that.
just wanted to get your consent to doing that, which is the proper
It's
thing.
okay.
I've consented.
Okay, great. And this is for educational purposes as well.
The boy is the consent.
So good, Dama, we're going to circle back to you for you to give us some of the trending issues in our country. Then we're going to go good day. And Leo, want to welcome you to the show. Leo is on time. Thank you so much for being here. This boy is time conscious, you know. Thank you. Well, if I can come with me about that, you said Leo, you're trying to make him look bad. That he'll be. Go ahead, Simon.
Yes. So I wouldn't start with the BVR process that began today and will end for the first phase on the 9th of April. We'll definitely touch that on the show. So I want to start as usual with my soft news that I begin the show with. So farmers in Bapolu County have had not so pleasant experiences with elephants raiding their farms. We keep encroaching onto the spaces of wildlife, and once we do that encroachment, we'll definitely experience wildlife and mankind crashing. So we have this what that's been going on in Bapolu County. At least 6 villages have been affected from elephants ravaging and damaging their farms, eating their fruits, and they've called for intervention. These villages are on the
interrupt you, Dharma. That is so fascinating to me, that we
and
have
I wish I could go there to just see the elephants.
Yes, we have wildlife in our country that we can have a whole safari, make that a tourist site, get them contained. You see, that's what they do in Kenya and South Africa and those places. Oh my goodness. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just got excited.
Yeah. So these villages are surrounding the proposed Foya Park. We have demarcated land spaces now for wildlife preservation in Liberia. We're big on conservation now in Liberia. And as you said, it's going to open the tourism sector as well. We just need a road connectivity. If you look at Patawi now in Bon County, it's a booming area. People want to go there. So we're big on tourism. So that's what's happening in Bapolu. We're calling on the FDA. There are fines associated with you harming wildlife endangered species. So that's what's happening in Bapolu. And we want to tell our farmers to exercise restraint. It's not easy, but we don't want you guys going and start to poach these elephants. We don't want that. All right. So there is a very huge level of optimism in Liberia concerning our upcoming matches against the Republic of South Africa. The national team, the Lone Star, departed from the country today to South Africa to play in a double header against them. We'll play in Johannesburg on the 24th, and they will be playing here in Monrovia on the 28th.
Go Lone Star. Go Lone Star.
Definitely Lone Star. There is a huge feeling that we can do something better. Not Dayware Trophy, not the boys try. It already BR3 we try, but we can do something better better in our chances to qualify for the AFCON. So we're cheering on our boys. We wish them a safe flight to Johannesburg, and we're cheering on our boys as well. So there is a lawsuit that was filed by the CPP. You were aware of that, against the NEC to halt the ongoing BVR process, terming it as unconstitutional because the NEC didn't use the released census, the preliminary census report, since there has been a huge population growth as of 50.4% of our population, to demarcate new constituencies, so the CPP has filed a lawsuit against the full bench of the Supreme Court in order to halt the process. How that is going to go, we're looking to see how that is going to pan out as lawyers give their arguments in front of the full bench of the Supreme Court. So there is fire in the camp of the PLP. There is fire in the camp of the PLP. The PLP formed part of those 6 political parties. In fact, it was on the premises of the PLP that they had the crossing over ceremony or joining the CDC. So a stalwart of the PLP have said the decision was made by the political leader of the party, Mr. Tapla Ido, unilaterally. He did it to please himself and those few individuals around him. So Mr. Edward Beamer has said the decision made by the current political leader contravenes the advocacy made by the institution's founding father, the late Dr. Daniel Cassell. So he has pledged that they are going to fight this. How it's going to end again, that is something we're watching to see to the end. And lastly, to conclude, the BVR process began today. I was personally attacked by someone believed to be an NEC employee. When there was commotion at the site, he just came. I don't know where he got this information from and said I was the one who was causing the commotion. He wanted to hit my phone from my hand and all sorts of things. But I had a video. It's like that guy got something attached to him, because as I was planning to come to the work tonight, my phone fell in the field and it's totally off. So I'm like, okay. But that was what happened. I witnessed a lot of violence today against Mr. Fubi Henrens. He was on the verge of being hacked with a machete. A guy came to the registration center and with very sharp machete, had a knife on his side, and then with a baseball bat in his hand. The issue of the contestation was, why is Fubi Henren around the registration center? So it was a serious thing today at the Matadi Elementary Community School, and police had to come and intervene. The process was disrupted for a while, but on the overall, that issue was resolved. But at least it should send message to law enforcement, especially those at the zonal depots, to pay attention. They need to go around and see what's happening and to ensure that people are safe. Liberians have complained today that the process was slow, and I witnessed at several centers. You say my name, John. The man will look on the keyboard for where J is, and if he looks around, he sees J, then he punches J. J. He say why again? He say O. Then he will look for where O is. That was one of the factors that contributed to the process being slow, aside other centers opening late and not, machines breaking down. But the interesting part is everybody is accusing everybody of trucking. So what you've noticed is aspirants, representative aspirants, they have observers at the various voter registration centers to see who's coming and who's bringing who, how are people influx into the place, and all of that. So that is where I rest from my few selected updates this evening on the show, Dr. Richardson.
Thank you, Diamond. I'm going to circle back to good day. Any thoughts? Thank you, Diamond. There's so many things that's surprising to me. The attack on Fubi Henry is very surprising, not because he's Fubi Henry, but just because he is a Liberian who people are taking his rights from being in a certain location away. And I can imagine how traumatizing it must be for him to have a machete, after him, going after him. So that's not.
And for other people also that are watching and seeing that kind of stuff happening.
Of course, vicarious trauma, Leo. And it's interesting. I kind of didn't expect everything to go smoothly today with the with the registration process. One, because it's new. Two, because it seems like people are not prepared. Like when you said John, those are all training issues to me that could be alleviated by training, lengthy training and testing, training and testing. So we'll wait and see how it goes. But Liberians, I want to encourage you to continue. Don't give up. As long as the line is, it's democracy, is your right your right to vote. We'll see how CPP, we invited them to come over to explain their lawsuit. We are waiting for them to come. They best know how to explain the lawsuit against NEC. And so we're waiting for them to respond to us. We'll circle back to you. Good day.
Yeah. Just to begin from where Damo stopped regarding district number 9, I live in district number 9 for more than 7 years. And I know how the district is regarding election matters, specifically the CDC and Phoebe Henry. They have been on this for rack of ages. From the days of the former lawmaker, the late Honorable Muna Pena Youngblood, to now her office boy, who is currently the lawmaker, Frank Safoko. They have always been, the two teams have always been like that. They have been into the Matanayo time. And most especially, these things are media created by the supporters or people who claim to be supporters of the CDC. Yeah. So if you see electoral violence in district number 9, they are always between supporters of CDC's candidate and Phoebe Henry. So I think beginning now, LMP station that is in District 9 has to be more vigilant. What's the place name? Wow, Debonia.
Silem.
Silen Debo has to be more proactive than before. And watch out. Many things will come out from there. I'm not praying for it, but many electoral violence will come from district number 9. It came from there yesterday, and it's expected to come from there. It just started, just the first day of registration. You're hearing what went on. What about campaign before election and after election? So district 9 is noted for it. I lived there before, so I know about the district. That's my district. That's where I was before leaving. So let's go to McGill. Today I follow former Minister McGill, Nathaniel McGill. He was in McGill County where he did his process. And he also complained on the same delay. So it's like the entire process was marked with delayed. I listened to him talking about people spending over 4 hours, and the team was unable to even do 20 persons or to get through with 20 persons. So I listened to him also calling on National Elections Commission to look into it, because many Liberians want to get their card, but the system is not giving them a speedy way. That is, most of them went there today. They were not able. It was unfortunate for them. They did not get their card today. And he also talked about if this continues, it means many people may not form part of the process because they will not have their names registered until the deadline. So I think NIC has to look at it. And again, it's just the first day. Let's see how it is going to be. Then we move to the political drama. The party seems to be in the hands of believe and not believers. We heard rumors. I think I talked about that before here, that the party is 90% confirmed to announce Senator Jeremiah Kuhn as the running mate to VP Boakaya. But something strange happened that we are waiting to see if the VP himself or his team will speak about it. And if they decide not to do it, that's their business.
I like how good they can be 100% sure about anything in Liberia politics. I mean, you put your hand bad, but go ahead.
I told you when I announced Jeremiah could never trust me. I know about that thing more than anything. So We got information. I know you guys will talk about that. Minister Fagon will be here to talk more on that. That VP Boakai was politically played in Ghana. How, why, who? Everything will be talked about here. But like 45% confirmed he was played politically in Ghana to choose a man or to pick a man. Who's that man? Why? Everything will be talked about. If you want to know more about that, we have the team set up. Eh?
Hang on, stay tuned.
Yeah, if you want to know who that man, why, and who were those that the VP was to meet, and how the meeting went on, who all were in the meeting, who were this, who were that, and those who came after. I'm not the one who's going to say that, but the team will tell you more about that. So far, so good. That is it. And Mr. Cummings is also in a state of dilemma as we speak. His darling girl is slipping away from him, and now he's
Who had
like,
darling girl?
he asked me for update.
But you can't call darling
You
girl.
said darling girl.
You
You know, black folk can be considered darling girl.
Eh?
Who
I
need
said
darling
black
girl?
folk can be considered a darling girl. Who a darling girl?
Politically, Liba County is Mr. Cummings' darling girl.
Oh, I
okay,
see.
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Well, Mr. Cummings, okay, you got Nima Kante in your darling girl box. You just need to find to keep it.
yeah, so Mr. Cummings' darling girl is slipping away from him to Boakai, and also
Damn, how you
so-
looking at Jesus?
then I mean he looking out. I don't know why he looking at.
I'm looking in a
okay.
general direction. I'm looking at the camera.
Okay. Because when I was doing something, and all of a sudden, then you just started looking so intensely. So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so Mr. Cummings, as we speak, he is not certain, but it is confirmed that before the end of May, he will announce his running mate. But the me person he wanted to pick, that person has switched the camera this way, so there's no way for him now. And we get many news that Basa is on the line. Basa is on the line to move his way, but that is like 10% confirmed. 10% confirmed that Basa is on her way to Cummings. And Nimba, we still hearing that other people from Nimba, but Cummings, there's no direct pointing to anybody for Cummings as we speak.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just like the way good they can come out with his percentages. I know.
If I go in and see issues, they sit in the see put. You know, it's really interesting. I did follow McGill a little bit. I won't say I watched the entire interview. I was fascinated by the fact that he talked about the solar system working during the rainy season. During the rainy season, he said he was concerned about the solar system that they have working. I think he said something about the fact that it's going to start raining very shortly in Liberia. So I know my interest piqued when he sort of said that. And then I thought it was interesting. Somebody asked him, what party are you going to be running under if you were to run in Margibi? And I expected him to convincingly say CDC. He didn't say that. He said that you didn't expect that. You didn't expect him to say that?
Yeah, I did not. And because I know he would not announce it. He would not run CDC.
He would not run on CDC. But he said, I am a member of CDC, but he said, we'll wait and see, something to that effect, which I thought was interesting. I think about 2 or 3 years ago, he would have outright say CDC.
About 9 months ago. What is it, 2 or 3 years?
About 9 months ago, he was going to do it.
9 months ago, he would have outright said CDC. So I'm keeping my ears open. Audience, keep your ears open. We will be telling you more information. Stay tuned, share the show. Don't go anywhere, because you're going to get some bombastic information here today regarding the news in Liberia. So just stay right here. Write your questions, your comments in the comment section. Periodically, we'll be reading it. We're going to just introduce and welcome maybe 2 or 3 people, because we're hitting our 4:30 mark and we have to start. So Leo, I will ask you to just join us. You can go in any particular order. We're not going in any particular order, so people can say, "Oh, you picked me, you didn't pick me," or Leo picking all. Well, I don't know Leo, or I don't know where they put you at, but or they can say Dr. Richardson picking all ANC people. So that's not necessarily true. Thank goodness you know what Leo is, so you can point anywhere.
They haven't categorized me yet, so I'm still waiting for my own category. Anyway,
Yes.
good to see a lot of people today. We'll start with Princess Jala. Welcome.
And from
Shepherd, welcome. We see Rich Gross, welcome. Garde, welcome. Honorable George Watkins Jr., welcome. In Inisua Segbe, welcome. Johnson PJ, welcome. Kaifa Yama, welcome. And Lami Tai, welcome. Edward M. Kekula Jr., welcome. Morris Johnson is watching us from North Carolina, Greensboro. Crisco Bimba Masale is watching us from Alberta, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Rokwe Samuels, Nancy Bala, Edwin Sharif, M. Tifo White, Mohammed V. Fode from St. Cloud, USA. David Sigbe is watching us as well. Beulah Sun is watching us as well. And then we got Joseph Dorley is watching us here as well. Harry Stalker is watching us. Pierre Campbell is watching us from Georgia. I know Councillor Pierre Brown Boo is also watching us, one of our regular now on here. It's good to see her on here. Swen Yinswa is watching us. Victoria Moyala is watching us, and David B. Dunn. Those are a few of our viewers watching us from all over the place.
Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead. I'd like to welcome Salamatu. It's good to have you here today, Salamatu. I'm going to go ahead and welcome some of our viewers, and I asked them to share the show.
Somebody said, I'm not calling Canada people. How is that possible?
There we go. You see? Yeah, you see how to get to
what was sounding like?
That's what I'm doing. I'm not even going there.
That's what I was to say. So we'd like to welcome Gafi Dunso. He says hi. LIB Bad Jew. He's this person is watching us. I said, Leo, you look great. George Cole from Minnesota, I want to welcome you. Joma Jala, I would like to welcome you as well. Melvin Paika from Fargo, North Dakota, welcome. Man Jenison from Somalia land. We have someone from Somalia. That's really great. Thank you for being here. Yes, Abu Kane is from Chickertown, Liberia. Thank you for watching. James G. Wetro, Ratu. I'm sorry, James G. Ratu. That's what I do. Is from Atlantic City, New Jersey. Is watching. Jay Bosco Clone Harmon is from Doison. He's here. Kelly Hager is watching. Sierra Jones is also watching us. Dennis Murphy is watching us. Salamatu, I'm going to give you the honor, and then we're going to close it down of welcoming your own friend. I just see she just popped up here. Your friend and sister. I saw you hanging out this weekend. You know who I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Spina. I don't even see her name, but yes.
She's
so
here.
Romina, my sister, I call her my sister girlfriend. Thanks for the support. I see you waving. Want to say hi to Melvin Diggs that I met this week. Told me he watches Spoon. So Melvin, if you're watching, I know a lot of people watch on the television as well. So if you're watching, it was a pleasure meeting you this weekend. So of course, I think you said Sierra Jones, Siddiqui Kroma, watching from Philadelphia, city of brotherly love
and sisterly affection.
I said. I like that. I never heard that one before, but I like it.
Yes, I lived in Philly before, and I know.
Oh, nice. Henny Fee Jalo. Good evening, Spoon family. How you doing? Dennis Murphy, Jeremiah Numore, Suku Jackson, Helmut. I get time for myself, Peters. I love it.
Good day, are you here on? Good to know, Barbara in Poland. Are you the one here on today?
Good day,
D. Wilson, Nordy,
Mhm.
Junior, I'm guessing Junior Mitchell, Philip Bala, Joma Jala, Elder Zachariah Roberts, Fanny Sonny Leo Massaquoi, James Davis, Prince PC Kilon, Como Janika, Andrew Jibe K. Wolo. He's watching from Sweden. Ah, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, that place said the sun had to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, sun had to come out. George B. Flomov, Felix Jackson, Roland Dennis, watching from Atlanta. He just got back from Liberia. I hope he had a great time.
Awesome.
Benjamin Ross, Kuma Justina Gardy. Hey, woman.
Yes, finally, right? And I see she's coming after 6 p.m. That's okay. I take it. I take it.
Amaru Jepate and Solomon Flomo, Grateful Cully, Doris, Tonia Thompson, another woman. Yay.
Yes. And Sister Elizabeth Bowen is also here. So thank you, Sister Liz from Grand Bassa County. Yes. So we're going to stop here because we have to start the show. I want you to stay tuned. We have a fascinating show for you today. We'll be asking a lot of critical questions, provoking your mind, making you think about our country, Liberia. And the thought process is to allow Liberia to grow, is to stimulate the growth process in Liberia. It's not that it's not growing, but we just want to continue that growth process, maybe at a different rate, growing at a different rate. So I want to just thank you for joining us. Stay tuned. Share the show if you have not done that already. We're going to start. Mr. Fagon is going to come in. He's waiting for us to welcome all of my relatives, as he usually says. All of my relatives, my friends and relatives. So I'm sure he's going to come in. And we're expecting other panelists to join us as well. And when they come in, we're just going to roll into the conversation. But so I'm just going to start. We know that President Weah is in the United States. We saw pictures of him. And I told you, you are going to come. You are waiting for us to welcome all our relatives. Yes. So President Weah is in the United States. We saw pictures on Facebook of him being here. I think those pictures were authenticated. We checked the executive mansion, and it says that he's here. And reportedly, he traveled to the UAE and then to the United States. So I don't know which one came first. I just saw that he was traveling to the UAE and the United States. So my question to you guys, and as you go into your opening, what is the purpose of his trip? If you know anything about that, and also I want you to also tell us what's on your mind. When you marinate a lot of things over the weekend, a lot of things happen over the weekend. I actually shut my phone down to spend time with my family. My one Sunday I had to spend time on Sunday, but a lot of things was going on. So I'd like to start with you, Leo. Leo, you go, and then Salimatu, and then we'll come to Mr. Fagon.
What's on my mind? Good day. You will share something, but let me just start. Thank you. I always like.
I'm a teacher for true. You always say PowerPoint.
Yeah, no, because my own. I let to say I pull it from inside my head somewhere. Because they think all of them already there. We just gotta go find it.
Teacher behavior. Go ahead.
So, no, what's on my mind? I've been pondering about the fact that it's no secret that we don't have the capacity in Liberia, security-wise, to provide what is needed, whether it's for our elections or even just in general, for managing our day-to-day across the country. Now, you might see a lot of activities when you're in Monrovia and in urban areas, but the moment you leave, at least based on my recent travel, the moment you start to go to more rural and remote areas, you hardly see a security presence. If you see it, they are so undercapacitated, unable to respond, sometimes don't even have vehicles to actually begin with. So I've been thinking, how come we haven't been looking at why the peace is still being kept even better in rural areas than in urban areas where we have all the security presence? So I was looking a little bit into, Good, you can actually post it. into a piece that has been done recently by the International Legal Assistance Consortium about Liberia being a dual legal system state, and which is Liberia is a two parallel legal system. Both fulfill an important role. Customary authorities keep the peace in rural areas and absorb a daily caseload of minor grievances. So, good, that's fine. You can actually put it down. I just put this as a reference point for people who want to see it. So, what they're saying is Liberia is sitting at a very dangerous place where intentionally our American legal system that we brought in, the former legal system that's in urban areas in Monrovia, has undercut the customary judicial system, which means everybody in all other parts of the country that usually would have been under the customary system that is actually legal legislated in Liberia have no access to any form of justice because what's in Monrovia is not accessible to anybody else in any part of the country. They cannot afford it. It's too expensive. It's not as decentralized within the rural areas. And we don't have the same security presence there. So they're saying if we continue on this trend, what will end up happening is that close to 70% of the country will have no access to any form of justice at all, while maybe 10 to 20% that can afford it has it. So that has been disturbing me a lot because it explains some of the disjointedness. You go to some of the places, they say that the magistrate court, you go see the magistrate court attached hot sitting on some kind of thing where when the criminal vest, they can run through it and pick everything up at the same time. And the last thing that's also been disturbing me, I said here before, is about the elections. I said it and I will continue to repeat it. We keep asking about who budget, who not budget. How are we going to do a biometric system in the country that we are running? You can't get computers in the offices. Even in government offices, people don't know how to type on computers. We've never had a time where computer literacy was a thing that was rampant in Liberia. Only those who could afford it managed to buy their own computers. Even in government offices, people using their personal devices to just try and keep work going. So as you saw today, you get all these people doing registration that can even type 5 words per minute. You got a long lineup. When are they going to finish? And this data entry process is the most crucial and critical stage in this biometric business, because when you make a lot of errors here, it's going to take you 2 to 3 years to get them corrected in terms of entering people's names incorrectly, entering people's date of birth. I remember the technical guy saying, oh, the thing's so straight when you type it in, everything in the right box. That's great. But if Peter named that P-E-T-E-R and you type P-E-T-R-E because you could not type well, people, even people who type well, when they have a volume, they tend to start making errors. So my concern is, I don't think Liberia is ready for a biometric voter registration system. It would be wise to start considering now that this process be used for something else and not for the upcoming elections, because the amount of problems that will come up, we don't even know yet because we've never done it. And we are 6 months away from the election. We don't have the time
to
launch investigation into some of the issues that may come up.
Thank you, Leah. You are raising salient points, very interesting points. You just took my mind to during COVID, I was in Liberia on, I believe, 2 different occasions. I arrived at the airport and somebody it was a cell phone they were using to put my personal information in. I was a little bit antsy because it just needed my phone number, where I was going to be. But it was interesting. I was a little bit concerned. I didn't know if it was a government issue cell phone or if it was a personal cell phone. And I dare not ask because who knew what kind of answer they're going to give me. But Talamatu, what's on your mind?
First of all, let me say, I don't know if you guys heard about Timothy Weah. Had an accident while playing soccer. And had to be taken off the field.
You mean injury? When you say accident, you mean different things in sports. Accident or injury?
He had an injury.
Okay, thank you.
Please mute that man. You know the Canadians, yeah, they always in our American people business. Yeah. But no, and my heart, I don't watch soccer, but I have friends that watch it. So
thank you for sharing that news, Salamatu.
Yeah, heart goes out to the parents, no matter what our political affiliation may be. We know 2 parents had to see the son pretty much taken off the field in a stretcher, which was kind of scary.
Thank you.
So I hope he's okay. that he gets well.
Thank you for bringing it.
Yeah, the other thing is, as Leo was talking about the issues of justice outside of Monrovia, I just started laughing. I say, yeah, do he not understand Liberia is not a decentralized country? Justice, you think that's the only thing? Healthcare, school, road, water, light, everything is centralized in Monrovia because the government is a centralized. What's the word for a government as everything is focused on like
You got it right, centralized.
It's just centralized. Liberia is not decentralized. There was an act to try to decentralize Liberia. That one will go back to policies. People say, oh, people just talking plenty. Liberia has a lot of good laws on the book. No, what is it?
We're going to report argument. Report versus money.
Yeah, my man. Yeah, and like we saying you right, but we saying that's not an issue right now. But anyway, but yeah, so we have a lot of policy. We have a lot of good policies. A lot of policies that if we just read it and try to implement it, you may see some of the solutions that I think all of us are suggesting happen. But we have a act that was a proposal for an act that's supposed to decentralize the government. And I'm sure it's stuck in somebody's office. They're not forget about that thing there. So the rural area will continue to suffer from our basic necessity. You're talking about the court system. Let me just give you an example. Criminal Court E was specifically created for rape cases, because when we passed that harsh law that said if somebody accused you of rape, they will remove you from the community and put you in jail, because there was a lot of intimidation, right? So we put a harsh law there. Once they remove you from the community, you're supposed to have a speedy trial. Everybody is entitled to a speedy trial, but unfortunately, you go to some of the court, and I can tell you for a fact. They'll tell you, oh, the man out here with the key. We ain't got scratch card. The light not on. So
they're using typewriters still.
My man, you gonna fire. Look, typewriter. But on one side, people are using the phone and inputting stuff. Yeah, so it's just unfortunate that there's a lot of policy that will try to create some kind of system around the country, but we're not looking at that. Everybody's too busy looking at how they can enrich themselves. So that's on my mind. Of course, the biometrics is on my mind, because Liberia, we don't even know who's in Liberia. A friend of mine told me that one time. He's like, do y'all really have an ID system, a centralized ID system? We don't have it. We don't know who's in Liberia. We don't know who Liberian, who's not Liberian. When ECOWAS introduced the ECOWAS ID, that was one of the things ECOWAS told them to do. Say, hey, look, if you will sponsor this, let everybody sign up for the ECOWAS card, blah, 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 blah. That one there, it got stuck somewhere. The national ID, it not get stuck somewhere. Everybody, they're doing their own thing in their own little area. Nothing is connecting. So now when I come bring biometrics, the old man there, I stood in line one time, the last election. And I mean, if I was a horrible person, I literally would have taken her hand and told her who the but she didn't know. She couldn't read. She couldn't write. She didn't know how to vote, how to put her finger down, how to do it. So there's no voters education for a country that has a very high illiteracy rate. But we won't do fancy things. We won't rush and do fancy things. So I was
imagine that the Moria people catching hot and let go. So when you're up in Tira to the Oma and the Papi, then won't even know where to start from. We'll see what happens.
Honorable Fagon, your thoughts? Everybody avoiding my present trips question, but that's okay. We'll come back to it. We're not leaving you to talk about it, but it's okay. We'll go our second round. Honorable Fagon, your thoughts? What is on your mind? I heard you were talking this weekend. You had the media, Facebook blown up. I didn't really get to pay attention to it because I had one day to spend with my family. But you were a star this weekend.
Blowing up all the double agents.
Some of my people kept on calling me. What's going on? I said, how will I know my people? So yeah, you now.
No, but you know, Dr. Richardson, I thought we were going to have some kind of inside scoop. So, you know, when you go to these different events, when people say what's going on, at least you can sound like, yeah, you know, I know the man, this is what happening. Nothing.
People thank God, and I get inside scoop because
Nothing.
the question.
Oh, yeah, to my know, right? Because what going on? I was supposed to say what going on. I you know. So yeah. The man say I can't watch spoon. Maybe he got some inside scoop for us.
Budget. How are we going to?
You not mute yourself, Honorable Fagon. You muted.
How good they muted me. If you don't know. Right now, I don't even know where to start from because now when two beautiful women are talking, and you listen like half voice man like Leo then talking, it can annoy you. It's like you listening to Sonny Good and somebody that come from the blast. You know?
They made too fussy.
That they see man.
You got cool bloody, yeah?
Man, people that they see man, I said he can be tired with the poor, be fussing with the people. Y'all say y'all want a thing to be like America. When poor want change now, can y'all say this? And the poor bring biometric now. Now you say it will not work. It will not. Y'all
But they're not how they can do it. 32 words per minute.
But when we be telling you, you won't kill me and Salimatu. So the biometric thing they bring now. You will hold it. Canada thing they brought from biometric. You will hold it.
They want keep from Guinea. It didn't come from this.
But the biometric thing the poor can do. That air we're doing now. You look at my Yasa, and let me start by greeting you wonderful ladies that bring a spice to this program. In all that you do, I really do appreciate you guys. You give women a voice on this platform, and you make them feel that don't give up. I don't say this lightly, but we are a society that marginalizes women in many various ways and forms. We have a way of making them, even if we don't say it verbally, but we have a way of making them know that we are at the top of the game. And they either, cooperate or they will evaporate somehow. And so you guys really lend a voice to women. You're making them brave and powerful. You're making them speak out there. And my young brother, Leo, I'm happy he's learning fast now. You remember when Leo said, so how you can get that information? You not know that the difference.
I'm not inside. I'm still getting some here. Don't put me.
You will not get it. The difference between 50 and 40.
You see?
And 30.
So why you can be vexed then when taller than 40?
Because you're not inside a zoo bush.
I'm not 50. Why would we be doing 50 people's zoo bush? I in 40 people's zoo bush.
Exactly. So stay in that place. So when we tell you what Spoon Todman used to eat where you won't argue. You are there? The guy who used to cut Todman hair, and Madam Moderator, let me tell you, the guy who used to cut Todman hair, you know those days, the blade was looking at a knife, a hard handle. So you cut the hair, you don't reach near the jugular vein right here. And yeah, you can really say, they can't say president. Back in the days, they didn't say president. President. You won't believe it. 6 months now, I ain't got nothing. Nothing I ain't got. The next prayer told me like yell, Butler! When he said Butler the second time, that Butler ain't can you come and be fired.
And y'all will all be believing the total story in 2023. We know.
But you got to believe it because that's how right now when we told you about the biometric, I will put a plane there. I brought it, the equipment. I will put the equipment all in front of you.
But I don't want to say that you argue here. So why you want to switch it around?
What do you say about biometric?
I don't want to say they brought the equipment in the country. You said people have no money. What?
And today you talking about
No. 3 days ago, your panelists and asked them.
3 days? 3 days ago. Let me remind you. Y'all will. 3 days ago was Saturday. That thing was there on my computer that I told you about when me and the poor were fussing and said, you want the biometrics, the plane I brought it, the access, everything I will give you all, you not forget.
But they're not argument. We agree on the biometrics being brought.
I don't want lady inside everybody business in the country. We are saying in front of me, I everybody business. But let me open now. Let me open here.
Thank you.
See, thank God you talk about the biometric. So I sent my late brother James good day. They say good day fair with everybody. Then why the fuck they need good day? They are there will be bad and just put it on one there. Bad day. Then we'll choose which day we'll bring. Smart on that platform, yeah. Nobody can you Poland to say you leave who you leave here. Polish getting fine. They look at Loma getting, they're not different. Hey, man. So
no, people are always using our time, yo.
Okay, so I want to give you empirical evidence of an insider. Nathaniel McGill is in our chat room.
It's okay. The video is ready.
Hey, let it. Look, today I need good day. The day I need good, bad day will tell you. So put a video out. I'm going to take 30 seconds to close because then Salimatu then will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. Your will ear.
Okay.
It happened today.
The former minister,
We are back.
Nathaniel McGill, is here with us.
Senator Aspiring.
And he has just
Follow McGill.
registered.
And you see with his voter registration card.
Mr. McGill, welcome to the press.
Thank you.
Well, we see today you just registered to vote on October 10th. Tell us, how was the process?
Well, to be honest with you, the process is extremely slow. See thousands of people here want to register to be in Census and all they can register. So maybe this is the first day we'll see the hope the system can improve. I wish we would have done the whole system since this morning. For the last 4 to 5 hours now, we have not even registered 20%. It's very worrisome. I hope that will take more. So we can improve the system. Look at the number of people here who want to register instead of being here in the morning. I think that's a major problem that we're experiencing right now. A lot of our complaining.
Mr. McGill, for the first time we are using the biometric system. What's your take on that?
Well, honestly, some of the concern we have, we can see it now. We are experiencing no concern. I'm wondering, since they are using solar panel, mind you, Liberia rains a lot. Now the counties, the project will be done late April and early May. And it will be raining sufficient in Liberia. I don't know whether we'll be able to raise sufficient people and the people want to do it. You can see the enthusiasm when it is. I'm concerned as to whether or not we'll be able to raise up more people through the neck doing the registration process. I hope we can find a solution. Because Liberians want to exercise their franchise because this election is a consequential election. 2023, there will be no May 10 election. The next election after 2022 will be 2029. So Liberians who are not the opportunity to vote to register want to do so. So I hope NEC will take the necessary precautionary actions to make sure that this system improves so they can register more people and people are turning out for registration.
Now you've registered. What's a message to citizens of McGill County, electable voters?
30 seconds. You heard him. The process is extremely poor, extremely slow. They've been there 4 to 5 hours. You register 20 people. And I'm thinking in my head, my Kema, my Musu, no touchscreen, all that thing started talking. The vast majority of my people, yeah, Leo, they're making fun of talking about terror. James Good, what rural place you can go to in like Bro said? I know he's trying to help them. You see typewriter. No typewriter in any police station, Leo. They get you shit with DOB and time. So, I mean, Dr. Francis, let me be frank with you. This is what happened today. Everybody became frustrated. So if tomorrow the same thing happened, and the third day, forget it. It's over. That I bring nothing. We'll go that day 1, nothing. Day 2, nothing. Day 3, we're gone. We're not coming back there again. So that's just my opening for you today. Biometrics for me, just like the census, it's a waste of time. I'm sorry. They need to just scrap the whole thing. Let's go back to our old ways. It's done. Because we did not do enough voters education, and this process should have been a 2-year thing, not 6 months. Our people will not be able. It's over for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you come from a good place, Mr. Falcon. Yeah. So it's hard to, I will want to encourage Liberians, but I understand exactly where you're coming from. I saw McGill said he's worried. He said he described the process as worrisome. He also talked about, the solar system working during the rainy season, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And when you use solar system, it's actually in a science. I actually have that on my home, so I know that it has to be positioned a certain way in order to to generate energy from the sunlight. It's a science that they have to put it up there. It's a science that even at nighttime we're able to generate electricity. But again, I don't know how they install the solar system.
And what if it breaks down, Dr. Richardson? Do you have technicians on hand right away to repair?
Correct.
You even got parts to replace it.
Yeah. That's an issue.
We in rainy season already.
Wow. Yeah. Well, oh my goodness. I don't know what to think, but I would say hopeful for now, but I do understand exactly what you're saying, Mr. Falcon. That Liberians in that challenge, we don't like challenges. Like you said, what you said, Dr. 5:59 versus Dr. 6 o'clock, it makes a big
but
difference.
if you prepare already, where you not prepare us now, 5:59, all the people can say, begin car us already, woman go. We used to it.
And Dr. Richardson, that was my question about planning when we had the elections team here. How can you be going ahead before you start planning when you should have had a plan long time ago to roll out? And that's why when I keep saying my report, people continue asking for the back plan. I'm saying before you do something like this, there was supposed to be so right now they're not going by any playbook. They're just going. Oh, we realized other play people were planted there. You gotta carry 2 more machines because there is no plan. And I don't know how you're going to be able to roll something out like this nationwide for the first time without a plan, without the resources, without the technical know-how spread across the country. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But even Salimatu told you that if she was bad, even though I don't know if she was bad or good, but she said if she was bad, she was going to make her all of that vote for whoever, you know. These old people, they don't know anything about all that computer or something. Yeah. So someone will have to escort them. Mm-hmm. And what the person say is what they will do. As opposed to, that Jowiayel or that JMBL or that Conglo. I want Conglo, they want that, the one I want. No. Yeah. You're going to do then suddenly be talking funny thing to you. Put your finger on the top. That kind of CV talk again. All I will be inside. You know, and they're not telling us anything. I'm sorry. This is a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
We have had 0 voters education yet.
Zero.
Not done
can I ask something? The places that you're registering to vote, is it the same as maybe the polling stations, or that is the same thing? The polling station?
You have to vote where you actually register.
Okay, so it's the polling station. So not a polling station, the voting precinct.
The voting precinct that you register in is where you must vote.
Vote. Okay, so that 2,080 places that they have these machines set up.
Yeah.
The
quote unquote setup.
Because they bring all the machine. I don't want tracking it.
They're actually saying they're doing phases, Salamantu. So right now, in certain counties that they've taken.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the next phase will start a couple of days later. But I think you're asking a good question. Let's see if we got clarity on this. You are asking, is the same building where you register to vote, is that the same building where you'll be voting at October 10th? I think some other that's what I was hearing you say.
I think it's the precinct, not necessarily the building per se. It's the precinct.
So that requires another set of education, because if people are going to a different location, they might be accustomed to going to one location for registration. And then now we're saying that they got to go somewhere else for voting.
No, that is fine if they go back there, because the list will be published.
There.
The voter registration list in that precinct will be published or will be there when you go to any of those. So it doesn't matter if they go back to the same place. Once it's within that particular precinct, you will see the list published, the names.
And how many people can read that list?
Stations are
every other election. What they've been doing.
The polling stations are in the same facility as the voting precinct. It's just different room. Yeah, so once you're in precinct 1, it may be precinct 1, and the polling, you might have like polling station 1, 2, 3 or something.
The first education people should have gotten was about the biometrics. The second education was for those who were going to be handling the machines. And I told you that it was a 5-day training workshop, and I'm challenging that. And they should have paid $15,000 to each participant, but they end up paying $1,000 for LD, and most of them never got to even see the machine with their eyes because they were insufficient at the workshop.
So, Dr. Richardson, another key thing for people to actually pay attention to is the thing we can call data entry. And I mean taking information and typing it. It's a very specific science. I mean, you will know that in the research field. Data entry has to come from professionals who can understand when to spot errors, who can understand when to spot the wrong structure of the data, who can also understand if the software is misbehaving, to know that something is happening that they can pick it up. So if you're getting people who only know how to look at the letter and take 5 minutes to tap a first name and a last name, even if there's a problem with the structure of the data or what's happening, they will not know. They will have no clue because they think their job is just what you see, what a person said to you, that what you tap and enter. So the integrity of the data is going to be a big issue if you don't have people who are expressing data entry or who understand it entering that particular data.
Thank you.
And that's why you have data entry clerks in the developed world.
Yes. Diamond, please tell us, you're here for a reason. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in a particular point, and I think the folks from NEC should be doing a lot of publicity concerning this particular thing. There is an option for you to register online if you've got a smartphone, and then you can take the QR code for the person who's putting in the information to just scan the code, get your information and all that. If we have this process where already those that are typing lack the skills, NEC should put more emphasis, since they're doing, as especially urban Liberia,
they don't want to pay you, Damo,
for people to do that.
How many people got a smartphone and a button phone that can go on a phone to fill
At
up?
least if you take that number and you encouraging people with smartphone and you let them know, from what I saw today was, once you've done that process, you're giving some level of preference, it reduces the workload already. If you're able to encourage many Liberians who've got smartphones to take advantage of this process, it's going to reduce the stress already on those that are struggling to look for J and O on the keyboard, So NEC should focus attention on that and let more people, especially in urban Liberia, Monrovia, Kakata, Kanta, and the rest of the areas that are got good network and people with smartphones, to take advantage of that particular process to reduce what we're seeing happening. That's the point I just.
Which is great, but the main trouble will be in rural. All the things that are happening, we can deal with in urban places.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What Simon is saying is that you provide all options, because right now this thing here. So you provide all the options. So if you got a youthful population there that's using smartphones, they can register. That means you cut down the number of people going to the precinct to go register. They can show their grandma name, they can show their oma name. You use the media as well to try to give the people all the options.
Without a plan, you're telling me you can put square pegs in round holes in 6 months. Me, I like to know what will happen as a solution. This is not, it's a great idea. I don't disagree. But this is not a solution to a bigger systemic problem we're looking at.
Yeah, but what we're saying is this. It's part of the solution. You have a bigger problem that's not going to get solved, Leo. Yeah, it's not going to get solved. The thing you're looking for ain't happening in 6 months.
And that's the reason why I'm saying, should we go ahead and do this process some kind of way?
What do you think? What do you think about?
Then you're not going to
we'll go to court because that's the normal thing to do.
The party you're talking about will not work. I know my country, just like you guys know.
We had
and call 4 person. He entered there. He will just enter data, get QPR code, and then go straight to Edwin Sose. I have 4 here.
But see the man entering the data wrongly now, misspelling the woman name on the phone, and sort of going the QR code.
Doing all kind of things.
So we had NEC here on Saturday, I believe, and we hope that it will come back to us after they've done their first weekend assessment of how they're doing. They can come back to us. I'm sure we give them some great feedback, and we learned a lot from them. So I would like for them to come back to us. Something you said, Diamond, and then you can also keep an eye on that. So the QR code, do they just go and scan it and then that information gets translated to a computer? Is that how that works?
Yes. What I noticed today from the various registration centers that I visited, you can do as many processes on the phone. But when you go, the person will show it to you and ask you all of the information you give her, is the information correct?
Okay.
And you say yes. So it has already taken out the time where the person will have to type and everything. It's not done in your absence because, mind you, you have to put in your fingerprints.
They said that.
So if you register on the phone, and I saw somebody talking about the iPhone, I had a problem with my iPhone. The QR code was not downloading. So all you need to do is to just take a screenshot and you take that there. So you still have to do your fingerprints. So there is no way I can come and say my name is Musu Freeman and I register and come back and say my name is Sir Joseph. Because if you put my fingerprint in the system, it's definitely going to bounce because that my set of prints are already there. So that is done verification.
I think it's the tracking
process is done as well.
I think Diamond, you haven't touched on the tracking issue that is worrying.
It's another layer
but Salman, to forget about even just trucking other like
it will not allow trucking to work.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to another topic. So I'm gonna give Leo your final word. So you're gonna come in with your final word, and Mr. Fagon, good day, and Diamond, and then we're gonna go to our main topic of the day.
So there is no way for anybody in Liberia to validate a Liberian citizenship in a genuine way, because we got no consolidated citizenship database. Yeah. We don't know who Liberian citizens are, even in the borders of Liberia. We got nowhere to verify. If you get passport before, or you were born in some kind of big government hospital, expensive hospital, where they did some kind of record that they gave you or so, you don't exist.
Yeah, they just take my record.
Yeah, but that record you get, Dr. Richardson, cannot be corroborated in any type of database.
I'm just playing you right.
Yeah, you only look at that you're able to keep yours. So the question becomes, if I were a candidate and I went across the border and loaded a truck with 500 people and brought them in the district, and they can all speak Guinea Pere, or they can all speak Loma from Guinea, or all speak Yakuba, which is Gio from Cote d'Ivoire, and get and say they are Nimbayan, so go and register. Since you don't have to prove any Liberian citizenship at the registration booth, you're not required. You just need to say you are a Liberian. How are we going to keep our election from being undermined by the influx of non-Liberians like we've seen in the past?
Okay, good. Matthew, your thoughts, if you have any, before we move on to our primary topics for the day.
Yeah, but and again, I think we're all pretty much saying the same thing. There's so many challenges, and I think everybody trying to tackle it from different angle. Of course, one, the issue of trucking for me, you will never get development, because you're bringing people that don't live in that particular community to come and vote on a representative or a senator that's supposed to be taking care of that community. So if you truck me, I live in Montserrat County, you not truck me into Nima County, I don't really give a crap about the community in Nima and Namahu. So the issue of trucking is there. I think the first thing Liberia needs to do is, one, we need to find out who in our country, not just the Liberians. We need to find out who's in the country. And in finding out who's in the country, meaning that you have a central, you have a system where all the identification kind of matches. You create one system where if I get my passport, if I get my voters registration, if I get my driver's license or national ID, they are all linked to one person, and not Salamatu can be Salamatu, Duncan can be Stephanie, can be this and this and that. So one, we need to know who's in our country with a national ID system. And then I think from there, we'll be able to kind of screen out who's Liberian, who's not.
Yes.
But until then, trucking are the least our issue, my brother.
Yes. So Mr. Fagon, at the end, Salamatu said trucking is as Liberian as fufu and soup, but it prevents development. If you know exactly what I mean when you use the analogy to American as apple pie, as Liberian as fufu and soup. Go ahead, Mr. Fagon.
The tea even started morning. I've sent a video to Good Day. You can see the police packing the people in the pickup. Like sardine. Carrying them because they were accused of leaving their way era for trucking. They brought it in to register for a candidate. I'm going to give Wadi Power the benefit of the doubt, because I also have another short video of one of the person that was caught, who said her auntie, she called her auntie, I'm not forgetting it, but it's on the video, brought her to the district to register so that she can vote for White Power. And I am sitting here thinking, like, even though they say biometric, people still hauling people from one district to the other district. So people need to understand that vote trucking will still be a crime and bad. Because like Diamond and Leo is saying, which I know, you will do the fingerprint, so you will be legit. What good is it if you come from a road to go vote for me in Bomi? Then you leave me there with Edwin Snow, who gave my whole mountain to the people for free. And he said, I'm a real not enjoying. All of these things should have formed part of voters' registration. The jingles. Talk to Damos Langa them. Pay them their money and let them run the education for you. The importance of not allowing yourself to be trucked. The significance of voting. What's in it for the country. All of those things. But y'all need to tell me, because me, all my boxes are open. I got no confirmation whether they not getting 33 million. And the last time I checked, they couldn't find US dollar to pay civil servants. They want to use the Liberian dollar. Central Bank said they will bring the old one. So y'all, please, Diamond, y'all need to tell, they not put a 10 million in the poor account or not.
But Dr.
If
Francine,
so, how much they put there?
I just know they move my candidate in the
but Dr. Richardson,
Yes,
just
yeah.
quick info. Many people assume that all advanced countries do biometric voter rate. That's not true. I found out doing some research. There are a lot of countries that don't do biometrics.
Yeah.
Up till
You
now,
see somebody calling you advanced Leo now.
including developed countries that's still not using biometrics because of that same issue, all the issues that come along with it, data security, the breach of different issues. So to just be clear, we shouldn't be assuming that, oh, all the other countries that are not improved, they're using biometrics. No, advanced, there are countries that don't use it.
So I'm going to find a word, and then we got to move on. It is 5:13. I have to move on to my...
Yeah, still being These young people are alleged of being brought into district number 7 to come and register for 10 United States dollars. But unfortunately, it was discovered that they were being trucked. So some citizens of District 7 immediately informed the police. The police went there, got them. We are here on Center Street, and they were being kept at Center Street depot. So they are being put on the speaker to take them to Central. All right. They are alleging that they was brought into the district to do their registration by Wale Power. All right, but after all this time, the guys were not able to receive their money from the person that they was brought into the district to do registration for.
So what is happening there?
That good money over there, I was checking the people. I think they were almost $100 and something. Like, who now? Then I have a second video there where the girl shows exactly that.
So Ray just asking what is happening there. She want you.
But she can't understand like brain English. Oh, if I see you that you coming between how can I tell that a friend that you that man won't be talking, how can I tell about you? Now why they can call him advanced Leo. But the truth is, they arrested them for the vote trucking. They pay the noise can come from, they will send you. It's $10 per person. But when the point get $10 now, then the noise. And the lady I have on the other video, it's the same noise. This one part, she said her auntie cleared it to her, go, you will get a 10. She came, they asked her, say you get a 10, who you came here for? And she showed a picture of Wale Powell. You don't even know Wale Powell, but $10. So I'm not looking at those people. It is alleged.
Yeah.
Maybe Wale Powell didn't even send them, but you can clearly see the police and everything. But my point here is, it tells you, like Diamond was explaining the process, right? The moment they say it can happen from cell phone, forget it. I myself, I can get some kind of, yeah, every day I will go with some kind of 3 boy in my pocket. But you know what? People will come to me to do the registration.
But the question for
and I can charge for it.
The question for you, Fagon,
and
what
I
it
can
would
take
do?
that data and sell it to a candidate.
Yeah.
Why did these people not do voters registration? Why did these people not take advantage of the media? It's a hurtful thing. I'm done.
So what would they do with all of these people that they are catching, that they are arresting? They just
they would carry them. They get food set to their home.
Here's my question. Here's my question. As much as I know that trucking kind of it prohibits development in places, is it illegal?
No.
Yes, it is.
Trucking in itself is illegal.
It's illegal under our law. It's illegal.
Under our law, trucking is illegal. That is, you coerce or you influence or you induce to go there. But you, as an individual, you can move from one district to another to vote.
On your own volition.
On your own volition.
Yeah.
So a group of friends could rent a taxi and say, okay, we from Grand Gita, so we want to go to Grand Gita to go and vote. You know?
Yes.
That's how I was thinking about it. Because
just 1 minute. My thing is, we all have to protect the democracy we enjoy. And if you want your district to develop, we all have to be vigilant. You know, it's everybody's business. Don't say, oh, like the people think, let them do their thing. No. NEC has got processes. After you've registered and they post the listing of those who have registered in the area, you can contest that this person is not from this place. But we don't take advantage of those processes. Even when someone is going to register, I heard Leo talk about how do we determine you are a Liberian or not. It's difficult to determine you are a Liberian because I could be a Liberian and I schooled in Ghana and I have a Ghanaian accent.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to challenge that I'm not a Liberian, I'll have to produce either a birth certificate that can be gotten easily. I have to produce, you know, a passport or a national ID. So there are good things there to protect the integrity of the process, but we don't take advantage of that. You know, so that's just what I wanted to add, Dr. Richardson. You can go to anywhere and register.
Okay, so we had a word on this. Oh, thank you, Diamond. Great education going on here. You had a word, and then we'll go to a good day for his word.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, you know, it goes back to voters registration, civic education, the people, just for people to know to do the right thing. That's number one. So you understand that if somebody is bringing you from somewhere, this is not your community. That community is not going to develop. And I like what Diamond said, you know, the community policing, where the community themselves can go and verify on the list, because the communities are well structured. People don't understand, you know, they are well structured. The Black leader, community leader, the youth leader, they're well structured in their community. But again, I would just say I know what it is. That's my candidate, and they better be putting alleged behind the accusation.
But you know what?
I know it's about to get dirty in that district because we know who she's running against.
But you know what is very frustrating in all of this for the community leaders and people who try, you know, their best to protect the vote and do these things? No deterrent. The same people that will point out today, and then they catch them tomorrow, they see those people out coming back again. So at some point, the people in the community as a why should we waste time anyway?
There's
because
no deterrent.
No deterrent. You catch these people today, they put it in the paper. Tomorrow morning. Yeah, Dr. Francis, tomorrow morning, the community will see those same people out coming right back. So the community people say, but then at the end of the day, why are we hitting our head anyway when we're not doing nothing?
It's $10 a day. If you get $10 today, go profit. If you go profit, you're not making it go to good time.
Wow.
Because our people, we keep saying education. Now the people not found way. Me, if I were there, I'm going straight to Yaka today. Yaka head out. How you go there? I won't go register.
And
Because
and a
the
common
people
rule of
themselves
law.
will be giving people money to go register.
That's true. And a very common rule of law, the burden of proof lies on the shoulder of the accuser. So if you come and say the person are yeah, they're not Liberian person, then you got to be very, very careful, because we cannot say the person, what you said, they're not Liberian person, get trouble to prove. You who accuse the person of not being a Liberian, the burden of proof always lies on the shoulder of the accuser.
That's why I just enjoy Edwin Snow on a post.
Good at trying to put up a chat. Good at a chat showing you that the whole thing that little yellow chat he won't put up. So you gotta
Good at somebody love message.
That a message.
Yeah, you showing people need it.
You gotta change the thing. Whoever posting this, then I'm not showing the chat. It's
Okay, let's remove that until we can get some clarification on that. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to my conversation for today. We've spent a lot of time educating Liberians on the voting process. We'll continue to have this conversation because this is an important moment for democracy in our country. So our president here, my people, they say he in DC. I briefly went on the website, the executive mansion's website, to get more information, but all I heard was the president was here for international engagement. That's what I read. Maybe they updated it. So I was wondering, maybe what is international engagement? Does that mean they're going to talk about guns in the country, the drugs that came in, or redirecting the security attention to Liberia? Because during the war, they moved, I think, to Senegal. So I want to know. I will start with you, Leo. What are you thinking? What our president? What we doing here? Didn't tell any information. What do you think?
I think it's a bit. There's a surprise element to this for me. Period. Because usually, when President Weah is traveling, when the president is traveling, usually there's a huge fanfare. Especially the way some people have been arguing. President Weah has no friends in DC. He can meet with any top American officials. I remember there was a time when we had a lot of government officials like Twed and Camille, they used to publicize it so much, even when they meet with Bakari sellers. It would be all over the place for us to know who they actually met with. So I'm a bit surprised if President Weah would be coming to DC, especially given the executive mansion post that I read is very scanty. That he's in a meeting with American officials. And this stuff worries me, because when you do that type of stuff, then you leave it open to interpretation. Then the people who think they are the people who know themselves to be insider, then start to drop the insider information. And if they tell us that this is what the president came to do, then you're playing catch up. But besides that, he's not an ordinary person. He's the president of the Republic of Liberia. If he's coming on a trip and on a vacation and it's funded by taxpayers' money, the Liberian people deserve the right to know the agenda of the trip. At the very least, is it something bilateral discussion? Is it aid? Is it security? Whatever it is, you deserve to not leave your office without reporting to your bosses why you leaving your office to travel all the way to the United States or to the UAE. So I'm a bit surprised that the executive mansion decided to just say the president traveling to DC to meet with some American officials with no clarity around what is the press going to report, what is media going to disseminate out. So you leave it up for rumors and for gossip, and especially at such a crucial time when we are around elections. We all know there have been issues with financing the election process. We all know there have been a lot of high-level U.S. visits to Liberia recently, from the corruption people to the FBI people. I know the CIA or the FBI people. Which one of them?
That is CIA.
That the international, that the CIA people, to the U.S. ambassador coming down very hard with some major statements recently. In the midst of all of this, and then we see the president make an abrupt trip because there was not a lot of information provided ahead of time. I think there's a lot of cloud hanging over it, and the executive mansion will do an excellent job, in my opinion, to provide more details on the president's trip in the U.S. so at least people can know some of the great achievements if he's here for good news, so we all can be aware of some of those great achievements. If not, so the country can know what is going on. Our president making a quick trip to Washington, D.C. But again, information is king. If you don't provide information, you are giving the latitude to those that are out there to guess and dig and see what they can find.
Yes, thank you. So I'm reading from the executive mansion. Yes, good day. You're going to come in. Let me just read from the executive mansion. It says the president of Liberia, His Excellency it got doctor, but so they said Dr. George Manawia has left the country for international engagements in the United States of America and the United Arab Emirates. Okay, so they're saying that international engagement, he came forward to meet with some people here. Dr. Weah left the country through Robert International's airport on Friday, March 17th. So he left on the 17th. And as part of his engagements, the Liberian leader will meet with key United Arab Emirates and United States officials. They just said key officials, Liberia development's partner, and would-be investors. So they're saying there's three key people here. Our development partners, whoever we have in the United States and in UAE, and would-be investors. President Weah was accompanied by Ambassador D. Maxwell Sa Kamaya, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Councillor Musa Dean, Minister of Justice, Major General Daniel Zanga, Minister of National Defense, all the people, Honorable Mawani Dix, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Honorable Ledgerwood Julius Remy, Minister of Information and Culture and Tourism, Honorable Samuel D. Tue, Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Honorable Eugene Lance Nangbe, Commission of Liberia Maritime Authority. While he is away, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Honorable G. Wisa Blamo, will chair the cabinet in consultation with the Vice President of Liberia, Dr. Jewel Howard Taylor, via, that's new too. They got consultation with Dr. Howard via telephone with the president. Okay, so here we are. That we heard. Good. So let me allow Good Day to come in, and then I'll let you come in. Good Day, please come in, please.
I'm not coming in on the president's matter. I'm coming in on the voter issue. That is the text that came out first. The text you see here is from the CDC chat room. Basically, they are instructing their supporters to move in district number 10, the district of Yeke, or represent the Yeke Koluba. Their aim is to truck voters there, or to truck Liberians there to register, and then they will have the chance to have Representative Yeke Koluba out. So this was a mandate that was given, and just to reinforce the mandate to tell the guys, if you want to go in, how to go, and what to get, why they are going. And also they concluded by giving the locations of all the centers in district number 10. This here you have all of the centers in district number 10. So the text that I put up previously instructed them that they can go to any of these centers here to register, and at the end of the day, they were going to get reward because they believe that Yeke is the only person who is giving the president tough time. So they want to do everything they can to have district number 10, meaning most of their people should troop into district number 10 and register so Josephine Davis can win Yeke. If not, they are not going to win. So this is their text. It's from the chat room, CDC 2023. It's from their chat room. Yes to Weah Girls 2023. So this is one of the chat rooms for those girls who are supporting Weah. And if you've been following district number 10 of recent, these people have been trooping in a lot. But we have somebody within the chat room who is giving these messages out. Okay, so that is why you saw that coming up. And also the issue that has to do with trucking, I think in 2020, during the special senatorial election, we broke a news on trucking. Trucking in Liberia is a way of life. It's a way of life, just like culture. Former Speaker Tyler was part of that seriously. And by that time, we went to Bomi County to do, we went for a training.
Correct that. Wait, correct that, because Shadrach Brown was on this show. Is it different from snow? Because Shadrach Brown report was on snow, and that's how they carry.
Hello.
Shaita Brown. So Speaker Tyler or Snow?
So the difference between Talos and Snow, one person's name is T, the other one is S.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about Talos.
Okay.
I'm talking about a former Speaker Talos.
Okay.
By that time, we went to Bombay County for training, and we got the information. Spoon Talk was on. This very Spoon Talk. This was the platform that we brought the news on. Spoon Talk was on at that time. And during the training, the magistrate for Bombay County told us during the training that trucking was taking place in Bombay County, but they never knew who was responsible for the trucking. And after I got that information, I started to talk to citizens in Bombay County, specifically Tottenham. And they gave me a tip of that it was Tyler who was bringing the people in. And they gave me the time they were bringing the people in Bombay County during the night hours. So when Spoon Talk was on, that was how I reached out to the CEO then. I reached out to him. They were on the show. When I reached out to the CEO said, okay, then y'all do everything. Y'all do everything you can to get that news. It was me and Yanti Tokpa of OKFM. So when somebody called on Spoon Talk, the person said, Talos, NTA bosses just left. They are on their way to Bombay County. So that was how I had to go along with Yanti. We kept ourselves somewhere until the boss landed almost after an hour. And everything that I'm talking here, we had everything live on Spoon Talk. It was the day that Liberia knew it was not Snow who was doing the trucking. Instead, it was Talos who was doing the trucking. Because we had these people on camera when they were getting down for the NTA buses. You get down, you go sign, they give you $20, you walk. You get down, you sign, you go get $20. And people were watching, so they told them that Spoon Journalist is broadcasting you people live. Everybody watching you guys on Spoon Talk. Go first and one another person came second. Who is he? One fuller guy in Tottenham, he saved my life along with Yanti. Go first, next was them. So when they knew that we were doing the broadcast, because I was sitting, I was not focusing on that. I just put my camera under my legs at it, and I was having conversations. So you will not know that I was doing recording. And they looked for me for like 20 to 30 minutes. They were not still getting me. At the end, somebody knew that I was sitting there. That was how I climbed in the arch. The fuller guy opened his door for me. And Yanti, we went there and we cleaned the arch. They surrounded that entire house in Bombay County. It became a serious one in Liberia. They said they wanted to burn the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they said they wanted to burn the house. Spoon Talk, everyone who was on Spoon Talk, including the CEO, they had to call the police, the police inspector general, the deputy police inspector general, members from the CDC, high-ranking members from the CDC. They all were called because I was in the arch along with Yanti. They surrounded the entire house. They said they wanted to burn the house that very night because their news were already out. There was no way they could say that not them.
Wow. Thank you.
So,
good day.
Let me just conclude it. So I left there until the police inspector general called. I can still remember I was in the house when they came to tell the food guy to open the house. He said he would not open. The head of CDC there came in. He talked to the man and said, okay, allow me, let me enter. When the guy entered, I could hear, thanks to him, I could hear Koji on the phone saying, what you guys are doing? Y'all won't put our party in trouble. The journalist saw y'all doing trucking. Y'all did the mail, y'all put the mail down. So according to him, he said it was Koji who was on the phone giving instruction to them that y'all should not do anything to the guys. They were doing their work. Y'all leave them. So that was how they dressed back. The police in Bombay County came. The police inspector general of Bombay County, they all came. They surrounded the house. They rescued us. And when we got on the motorbike, I think if you hear people saying somebody said they only gave me one slap when I got on the back while going, that was how one person just slapped me. So trucking in Liberia is a way of life. Yeah, it became a serious news in Liberia. That was how we established that it was not Snow who was doing the trucking. So that is Sergeant Brown was talking. He was just doing PRO or just running propaganda. It was Carlos who we saw at that time.
All right. Thank you for the update. Fast forward. Representative Yeke is expected to join us.
Yes.
We will see what is happening because this is his district that text that came through we just saw is related to. We understand that there were arrangements for people to be trucked. I think we saw the text that just came through that said some of you left early and some stayed. We need to remove the man with all of his insults. So this was, reference to District 10. Yeah, we are. I think to me, I'm just picking up where it says we had to talk about registering D10 as we want to remove that man with all his insults. So, like James Goode say, it's an issue we have to address. Trucking is, to me, as Liberian as fufu and soup. So it is an issue that we have to address. All right. We'll wait for Representative Yeke to come through, and we'll probably regress a little bit and go to him and then come back. Yes.
While we are that, can I say something?
Sure.
In case James does not know, Snow was also alleged to have trucked. But on the air, at the time I was there, and Snow will tell you, Snow admitted that the truck that was used with his pictures and everything on it, yes, it was his truck, but he was not the one that gave the instruction for trucking. He gave the buses and everything. And now what we need to do is that I'm looking forward, we will have to get those videos to form part of our archive, showing the people collecting the money or whatever. And then those other videos with Snow and the truck situation, I heard that from Snow Umbuff. I'm not going to look for witness. He said, yeah, the trucks were mine. But as far as the trucking, I just heard that my truck was involved when they crossed the Pole River Bridge. But I want to say something, and what I wanted to do is to provide a little bit of education here. I got reliable information that Legis provided the result of the census to the legislature today. That information is quite reliable. Now, if they did that today, it means they shot neck in the back. And why do I say so? It's because the Constitution is very clear. Those of us who work in government knows what the process should be. And let me just say it quickly so you can understand. The Constitution, Article 39 says the legislature shall cause a census to be held. In Article 80E, it clearly states, it's right here.
I understand.
Yeah, it clearly states that immediately, right here, so you can say I'm talking it. Immediately following a national census and before the next election, it clear in black and white, that is this election coming October, the Election Commission shall reapportion the constituency in accordance with the new population figures. Now, we went from 4.3 to 5.2. So they're supposed to do that. So that every constituency shall have as close as the same population as possible. So what happened here is the people presenting the latest document today to the legislature. The legislature is supposed to look at it and say, okay, there's an increase in population. NEC, redistrict.
Yes.
Then when NEC redistrict, you know, district and by your head.
By
not by law, because it will have representatives.
Yes.
When you redistrict, then you bring it back to the legislature. The legislature take it and then pass it into like law.
Correct.
So the district becomes what? Legit.
Yes.
But NEC finished drawing her district. NEC registering Leo Johnson, whole group he carried today. And I know why he grew out of Pinsville to the library. Then they just gave him the document. You see how things can go by in the country? It's putting the horse before the cat. It's good. But putting the cat before the horse is bad. Now, what do you expect the legislature to do with it? And we know now for a fact that the place should have been redistricted. So what's going on now? You heard it from the law. The law said immediately following a national census and before the elections, yeah, we are today doing registration, new district and all. Then the other people telling Diamond Slanger, who they document, go give it to the clerk in the legislature. And he too, he did it.
But the
So we
question,
don't know where we
pardon,
are.
the way you're picking the constitution apart, is there any part of the constitution we follow so far?
Yes.
Which part of it we follow?
Power is inherent in the people.
Where is it in the people here?
Article 1, yeah, right here.
I mean, where have we followed the constitution so far?
The one that brought Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to power.
No, I said since.
So yes, we'll continue that conversation, but I'd like to welcome Honorable Yeke
And we the
Koluba.
one may you pay library near the city hall.
I want to continue.
No, Mahi again, Jerry Mahi.
Now, I'm not Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I'm not here for you.
But at the same time,
no, you're not.
Everything we don't know about our spare room you pay in the back. Play phone.
Breaking news.
Now in the basement.
I beg y'all, my representative is on.
Yes, I beg you. So
representative.
Yes,
Representative
Yeke
Koluba. Oh, baby.
Well,
yes, we are seeing this text floating around, and you're here to tell us more about this text because we don't know some of the contextual information surrounding this text. What do you know about it?
Okay, let me say good evening to everybody on the show. And what Leo was saying is right. There's no constitution sent the government into being. All the provision of the constitution have been disrespected by the government, so the constitution does not exist. And I also, before I go to the topic, let me say good evening to my supporters, the people around the world, of District Number 10, that gave me the opportunity to represent in the 54th National Legislature. Before I go to the issue, I heard somebody saying the census was received by the legislature. Few group of people cannot make decisions for the country.
Say, or I mean.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I listened to Ombo Fakon. You my chief.
Order on the show,
you my chief.
Okay. We want to see
you my boss.
Thank you.
You my boss.
Thank you.
So whatsoever document have been received, we have to be called back to make decision. Not a few group of people that have been left there to take care of the affairs, not to make decision for plenary. Plenary will have to take decision on that. So the project joking. Papa Chimo can keep that and let it be kept with him. But they can't make no decision on it until we are called back. And if anybody will call me back, they will pay me to go back. They will pay me to go back. I'm not going to do free work for anybody to enjoy. So going to this, something that came up from the CDC chat room. I got this information saying 1 month. I had a press conference, I think last week or week before last, and made reference to it. But I finally got the evidence last night. I decided to share it with everybody. Look, you see, I don't know what the real call trucking, because I don't know what they call trucking, because people just moving people in the district. And they are going, dropping the poll to the CDC party, here, calling the poll, go register, and come back. They are standing online, receiving their money. I think in my mind is wrong. There will be election violence if care is not taken. If care is not taken, there will be election violence. The thing that people on, we are watching and care for it. When I get ready to do my own, anybody come there and say they can post up to it, they'll be prevented by me. And then when election violence will start. It's glaring in the face of the people. The president has decided that I should never surface in the Capitol building. This is my last term. And let me say to Ambassador Weir, I'll be re-elected. I am re-elected already by the people of this country. The people of District Number 10 have resolved to re-elect me. That's what they have seen. They have done their own survey. They have decided to troop in people. They took 4 buses today from District 15. They took 3 buses from District 5. People are taking people from District Number 10 and taking in District Number 9. But I am re-elected and I'm going to be re-elected. We are not going to cause any confusion. If Election Commission want people to come from Aricos and other places that are Liberian to come and register in district number 10, the people will come. We want to be on record. The evidence is there. CDC have resolved and they have said to all the people they should move into district number 10. I think you saw they leaked something, right? It's clear. But we are not deterred by that. Let me say we'll be very peaceful until the peace is broken. When the peace is broken, we will follow their footsteps and we will all break the peace. We are calling on in the international community. We are calling on the civil society to inform the justice minister. Justice is for all. Justice shouldn't be selective. If justice is selective, the people in the justice system will feed the Liberian people.
Okay, thank you.
So the process have started. We are calling on our people. The election law say anyway you register, the way you vote. So let the people come to register. But we want this to be clear to our supporters. Let them know that this is the message from Ambassador Weah, aspiring George Manuel Weah, that his people should move in my district for me to not be re-elected. So I'll stop that far while we go through the discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Koluba, for letting us know what is happening in your district. We pray that Liberians will take ownership of their democracy and monitor what is happening in all of the districts to make sure that trucking is prevented. We're going to go back to discussing, I wanted to just also say what you said, Honorable Falcon, is really interesting about this districting affairs. If you grew, if your population grew in a certain area that rises to a certain percentage, you are supposed to gain a representative. And if you lose below a certain percentage, you're supposed to lose a representative. And so representation matters. And so I don't know how is the census, because they did say our population doubled. So if our population doubled, that means that representation for our people should be accounted for.
Our population increased, or not double.
Well, no, from the last time. I think that's what it said. I remember reading it was from 3.5 to 6.5.
No, it increased.
No, it increased by
increased.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I read double.
But like I said, you can say someone double. You right? You said that wrong. Look at they put in Grand Crew.
Yeah.
No, I read somewhere that it was.
They get the people contraceptives. The people double their population.
But Dr. Richardson,
yes.
Imagine what will happen. This is just the first one. There will be multiple of these type of things because the way the process has been, the cancellations, the schedule has all been mixed. So things that were supposed to come previously, before even here, most of them are not out, but they have to rush the registration process or else it's impossible. So I think we should get ready for a lot of things being done backwards, which will just screw up the process more.
Okay. All right. So now, we'll be waiting. We'll see what will happen in the different districts where the population grew, if there's fair representation of the people, and if the places where the population did not grow, if they will lose representation as is supposed to happen in terms of districting. Okay, your thoughts?
Well, Dr. Richardson, let me just chip in small.
Yes.
If the population have grown, we agree. From this voter registration, we can compare with the census. Because Grand Crew, when you compare, from what I know, when you compare some of those districts with the voter registration and the census, they will have to reduce some of those counties.
That's a very, very important point. We would like to see the numbers that emerge from the voter registration.
Leo been talking about.
Not a report. Salamatu said she not want a report. She have for the money. I tell her, let's see the report.
That the report Leo been talking about.
For me, the thing that embarrassing me is NEC not take down all the data.
Yes.
Latest student I put on 402 that you didn't know that the thing 402 error. And what I'm looking at in this day and time, a modern country like Liberia, you finish with a census, you carry paper to the poor and give it to them in the legislature. What then they will print all that data and circulate it. But the website right there, you clean everything. Then you go to the next, the data was already there, you clean everything.
Minister Fagon.
I'm wondering, well, let me make this point. I'm wondering the American ambassador is sitting there and looking and saying, huh, when the Liberian people are ready to talk, then maybe I'll say I ashamed of them, but look at these people and look at what they're doing. Data that was there already, that the people saw, recorded, you're erasing. Data that you're supposed to enter for legends, the census. No way. What do you expect us to do, Leo? When we can't talk, then you say it's despicable?
Yeah, it's despicable because you're not getting no report. That's also all talking. And number two,
they report, they will call you advanced report.
No problem. I will
advise that you don't speak in the big English. I will not understand.
I understand.
Not yet today, so we'll be under control.
The real issue is if everybody look at what is actually happening. To lie is not easy. It's like people think to lie is very easy. It's difficult. Because there will be all kinds of things that will come up that will show that it doesn't add up. Even when you take down all the data that you want to take down, as numbers start to emerge, it will be so easy to start poking the holes in it. Because at 250,000 people, the population in Saskatoon grew by 250,000 people. And then you conduct a voter registration, 51,000 people.
Why you call 51? Say maybe 5,000.
Yeah, I'm just calling numbers. And then right away, you have some questions to answer. How come you disenfranchise more than 75% of the whole population in the area and only told maybe 20% of the population to go and vote?
Then we say you get in.
If those people were excited to be counted in the census, they decided to not be excited to participate in the election.
It's hard to.
It's not easy to allow. It's not easy.
It's hard to, especially when it comes to numbers. Especially. Okay, so
you know what? It's hard. It's hard to lie. I agree. However, if you don't have people asking these questions and holding the people accountable, it's easier for them to lie. I mean, we've seen it for the past 5 years. They kind of jet thought, nobody question it, nobody hold the feet to the fire, or maybe we question it for so long. By the time we ask in the second question, there's another big case when I run to. So nobody is holding, but I wouldn't say nobody because there's a few people who are holding them accountable. Like my representative, call back. But people,
you just want security for your horse in that district.
Oh no, my horse is secure. Yeah, my horse.
How are you pressing for security for
no,
your horse in that district?
Well, that my representative there. Anybody who know me know, me and my yake business. Yeah, but anyway, but so that's why it's so easy for them to just lie and people just lying and getting away with it. But if we start holding them accountable, like you said, you start comparing numbers and saying, but now what happened? And start tying it to our constitutional rights, and then taking them to court, you will see things miss.
And that was the question I raised during the Gloria Scott case we were talking during the recent soup issue. I kept saying every time these things happen, people are summoned to the Senate. When they come, the Senate said, go do blah, 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 blah. Nobody here about it anymore. Then another thing happened again. They summoned them to the Senate again. Then we double that one OA. Another thing happened. We summoned them to the Senate. What happened to all of the other ones? If you told the people to do something, they didn't do it. And there's supposed to be actions. Yeah. But nobody's taking any action. So you're absolutely right. So people just do it with impunity.
That's the Canadian way.
So
we don't do it right. Even the Prime Minister in Canada was under investigation the last time for riding Somali helicopter. He's not supposed to be riding. The whole office they brought it down under investigation.
Then the day before yesterday, the former U.S. president said, "Your applicant has a report to arrest me on Tuesday."
They met begging saying, "I can't help you there."
So Saramata, I want to move on to you. Leo already told us that the e-mansion website provided limited information about our president's travel to the United States. Is he here on a private visit or is he here on taxpayers' account? Because if he is, then we would love to at least have some more information as to what is he doing here. What are your thoughts? And then I'm going to go on to Mr. Vagon. We're going to go to our phone lines at least 6:05.
Okay. Number one, I am not surprised that they have not communicated with us because this is what we've seen. They may cut a speech from us.
That's what we always say.
Yeah, they may not cut a speech from us. They're not going to tell it is the people tax money that he's using to travel. Period. The end. Even he used $5 of that money. He owed it to the Liberian people to tell them where he's going. He's the president of the country. I mean, I don't understand why is that so difficult for us to understand and maybe really start holding this man accountable. When I say start holding him accountable, maybe the legislature, but again, you don't have a lot of people in the legislature who know that they are a different branch of government. They will go ahead and side with him. So you have a few people who will fight it, but majority of them, they just there, they won't do anything. So in the absence of him telling us where he going, how he's spending the Liberian poor taxpayer money, then we would just guess and assume. And Liberia is very small. Most of our assumption, some may be kind of shaky and may not be true, but most of it will be true. We know here's what we do know. We know that the CIA director did make a visit to Liberia. The CIA director does not make those type of visits to other countries. And for people who don't know who the CIA is like the United. It's not like it is. The United States government intelligence office
for criminals.
Central Intelligence
Intelligence. They're big. They're bigger than FBI. They're bigger than police. They look at foreign threats to the United States. That's the key. Where you got to be looking at. They look at threats to the United States. So for that man to come here, we come and guess and say, but what's the man doing here? The more I read about what their mandates are, they have 5 priority areas where they've been funded in: counterterrorism, non-proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. I know we ain't got it there. We ain't got no weapons of mass destruction there. At least we hope we don't. Indications or warnings from senior policy makers. That means somebody in the senior level not getting some kind of information about something. Counterintelligence and cyber intelligence. So when I think about it, I said, now which one of these things will not fall under? We also know that there's the issue of the war crimes court. It coming. They need the president maybe to say, they need him to do, they need something from him. They need him to play a role some kind of way, but it's coming. So we know about that part. We also know about weapons that the government claimed came from the United States. And they said it came from America. We know that. We also know that there were drugs that were found at the Port Authority. Y'all keep playing, but the entrance into Liberia have 2 major entrances in our country. Of course, it's Freeport and it's the airport. We have other entries, but those are our 2 major entries that we see a lot of activities happening. So we will guess. So since they won't tell us, we will guess. But you know what? The kind of news there, pregnancy can grow in the back. We will but I pray for Liberia because I don't think this was a friendly visit. I really don't think this was a come sit with us, we having tea and cooking. I don't think it was a friendly visit.
Thank you, Salamatu. Honorable Falcon, and then we'll go to Slanga.
Look, let me say this. Growing up as a kid, when the whole class making noise, and the teacher cannot control the class, and they carry the complaint to the principal's office. When the principal comes to the class and blast, you drop needle, you can hear it. But when the principal is leaving and he say, you, follow me to the office, you know it's not a small thing. I'm trying to speak simple like doing English, okay? Now, the CIA boss did not send a deputy. He did not send a director. He did not send a regional supervisor. He said, God damn it. He left his office and came down to Liberia, small country.
And we got AFRICOM, right? Mention that one.
AFCOM. Then he met with everybody, but he went to see the president, escorted by the NSA boss. If you look on this...
Can you please move this, please?
So you want to see my face, Google, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. If you look, you will see that he was escorted any sensible Liberian listening to me, what is it that this CIA director had to tell George Mane Usman Segosi Tabata Wia that he couldn't tell him that he would say, "Lo, you know what happened? You still got to come to America. I want to explain something to you." What is it that he could not put on his flash drive and say, "Mr. President, you got to come to the embassy at 10 o'clock tonight. We want to show you everything." What is it? The man just left Monrovia. Then he said, "Follow me." So right now, anything we say here, man, it will be speculation. But here are some things I really want to lay out here to you all. We know about Wagner. And we know how the Americans take their security very serious. Right now, Wagner is reported to be in Mali, which is not far from us. Burkina Faso, where we normally stay on our side, and people there. They are there. So literally, they are in the region already. And there were reports that there were strange people in Liberia. Don't forget, the NSA headquarters was constructed by the Americans at the cost of $1.2 million. That the CIA headquarters for Africa was in Liberia, but then moved to Senegal. However, with Wagner spreading, they caught the first $100 million war for drugs, which terrorists usually use proceeds from to spread their network. They burned the $100 million war for drugs. Before the American Islamic Crusade left the place to go to the embassy, they caught $40 million worth of drugs. It means that Liberia has been a drug trafficking route under President Weah for the last 5 years. Second point, the importation of arms. Look at the kind of weapon that was found. Dana go shoot rogue weapon. Well, you can know what I'm talking about. Sniper, high caliber rifle. The one where you can stand from EJ Rock and take out somebody in the embassy. The government say, "Oh, the whole American crew came for the weapons." Now, that was 2. Thirdly, money laundering. How do terrorists, look, the American government are looking for 100,000. But Liberia has been a hub for millions of dollars. And that is why when people are speculating, they ask Dr. Francine, the CIA man, he came here. What thing he wanted to tell our president, he didn't tell him that he got to call him back. So the reality here, I must say to all of you guys, I think, in my honest opinion, I don't see anything this administration can give to the Americans or help the Americans with that another government cannot do and do better for the Americans in terms of helping them with the national security. So the paper you asked Kude to put down, look at the United States Human Rights Report. It says arbitrary, unlawful killings by government and its agents.
Yes. I see that.
That is cause for concern. That is cause for concern. So they call a man for plenty of things. That's all I can say.
Okay.
They call all my argument. They call him for what, Dr. Francine?
Money laundering, terrorism.
No, I say plenty of things.
Plenty of things. Okay, I tell you, when I ask our quiz, you know, in my class, my students say plenty of things that fail. But you gotta be specific for me.
But we know you. Hey, 559. Oh, hey, 559.
Yeah, 559. Almost. Diamond Slanker, you are here for a reason. Did you want to say something?
Yes, Dr. Richardson, I just wanted to say something concerning the purpose of the president's visit to the United States. So the night prior to his departure, you know, we got the info that he was leaving the country, and as to why he was leaving wasn't really, given out. And I covered the executive mansion for a number of years. I know that you are told in details what the president is going to do if he's attending a conference, whether it's a symposium or whatever. You'll be told how many days, not specifically how many days you spend, but the overall duration of the trip, you know, and all that. So I made a couple of calls to some highly placed sources, and I was told, and it's yet to be authenticated by one of those sources, that the president was invited by the State Department. That was what the person said to me. And they called me back in a couple of minutes and said, no, forget what I told you. You know, just forget what I told you. You know, so the speculations will be there. In as much as you've not given us the purpose for his trip, we will all have to speculate. And take into consideration how the government has tried in all efforts to make sure that we are aware that they've got some international leverage, this trip to the United States wouldn't have been something that would be, you know, sketchy or scanty. We can get details of. It would have been well laid out. The president will meet this person, that person, and this person while he's in the US, and on the margins, he will have, you know, talk with whoever to bring development to Liberia. So, you know, the speculations will be there. I just wanted to say what I was told, though the person said they recounted their words, but that was what they said, and it's a highly placed person as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is it. We are expecting our president and his officials to provide more information. That's all we want. We just want to know. I want to move on quickly before I go to the phone lines. The vice presidential picks actually have been in the news. It wasn't. So just 1 minute or so, we're going to come back to this topic probably tomorrow, but I just want to get your thoughts on it. And I will start again with Leo. Vice presidential picks is in the air. They're in the air. People are talking about it.
Yeah, I think
so. They're talking about Leo going with ANC too, though. It's in the air.
On your own. So far, so far, I think we've heard a lot from the JMB camp. And we've heard names from Costa to Senator Kuhn to Nyomli. I mean, in my opinion, I would say none of the names that have surfaced is good for JMB, if you ask me personally. In my opinion, JMB has
expand on that on another day, but I'm interested in hearing that. That's a powerful statement.
Yeah, I don't think any of them augurs well for JMB, in my opinion. Number one, Senator Kuhn, who seemed to be the hottest on the list, is from the legislature that has been labeled by the Liberian Power one of the most corrupt institutions ever. JMB has a history of picking from the legislature when he went for Emmanuel Nukwe in 2017. We know how that played out as his running mate. So with Senator Kuhn, again, it also looked like a last-minute desperate dash because Senator Kuhn has never been around the block. In fact, MDR was considered to be in the CDC camp. And of late, about a month ago, we see everything flipping over, and all of a sudden, how can Senator Kuhn be all of a sudden catapulted from not even being supporting the opposition at all, supporting the ruling party, straight up to the ladder of becoming number 2 to JMB? I can't wait to see how United Party and people who have been in the trenches for UP react to something like that. But will you also tell me, the former ruling party, been in power for 12 years, for the last 20 years almost, cannot produce a vice presidential pick, given how established they've been, but have to be looking at crisscrossing the aisle? I would say that for Cummings, I think the danger for Cummings is this. His vice presidential pick, I think, would be the defining moment of his quest to become president. If that person cannot transcend his shortcomings around his ability to hit the nooks and crannies of Liberia, and somebody who has the gravitas and charisma in the Liberian political arena, that carries a lot of power.
Speaking words of gravitas and charisma. I enjoy you. Go ahead.
In the Liberian political arena, people who are bombastic, like your Lehman Bowies, they resonate. That's just where we are as a society. Whether you like it or not, it works. People like Honorable Yaka Koluba. Like Yaka Koluba or not, when Honorable Yaka Koluba speak, people pay attention. Bombastic. Whether you like him or not, bombastic. So if Honorable Cummings cannot pick someone who resonates in that sense, I'm not saying he doesn't resonate at all, but in those particular areas, I think it would determine his quest for the presidency or not. But so far with JMB, honestly, the names that I've heard, I think might cause him more problem than not down the road. That's how I see it.
So, Leo, I'm interested in you expanding that idea for our other show. You said a lot of stimulating things here tonight. So hang on to that. I would like for you to.
So, Dara Richardson, can I come in 1 minute, please?
Sure, please. Honorable, anything for you here? You are our guest. And honorable.
Okay, let me just let the information out to the public. the Justice Ministry through the Director of Police took 150 people to the academy. They are undergoing training now. And among the 150, we got 125 from CDC. All the people that took the tests, they canceled their name and took seditions. And I want them to prove me wrong. They got 150 men training now. 125 from the CDC and 25 from the police. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
These people, you know, people will say why they sent for the president. Falcon said it right. This country, one of the reasons why Serena Sifa was placed on sanction because of the money laundering. He decided to facilitate people that were carrying on money laundering in this place, going to the court and standing for them. You understand what I'm saying? Liberia is being used as a terrorist ground right now. From what I know. Liberia is being used as the central point for drug trafficking right now. From what I know. So, the CIA boss came in with 2 additional persons with him. When they came here, 3 weeks to a month ago, when they came here, and he wanted some information that he got. And this is not okay for Ambassador Weah. Let me be very frank with you people. From what I know, and I'm speaking with facts, this is not okay for Ambassador Weah. Because Liberia, they are training people in their country right now. Go on the academy. Some of the people that have been trained, someone that cannot speak English to say John is going to school. I want to challenge the Liberia National Police. Let's take, for example, there's a guy from the police they call 196. He worked with the police. That guy can never spell his name. John is going to school, you don't know it. 196, they call him Prince.
Huh?
I got a lot of names. I got a lot of information. You understand what I'm saying? And the American government have invested too much in the rule of law in the country. And they cannot wait to see the country going the way this president is carrying the country. There are a lot of arms being brought into this country with the knowledge, with the consent of the president. And the international community know, especially the American government know, that it's too much. So that one of the reasons why they call him, Liberia is being used as a transit point for drug trafficking, number 1. That's a big thing. Because when you get involved with drugs, you can get involved with terrorists. Number 2, Liberia is being used to train people that are not Liberians. And some are on the academy now as I speak to you. I want them to take me there. Let them take me there tonight. I can point them up. Let them tell you, please, how are you? When they say it correctly, they tell you, how are you correctly? I will resign as representative. They are training people in a place. We said it before, when people went on the academy for 2 weeks and came back, they gave them license to carry a gun. And the Justice Minister didn't do nothing about it. The Justice Minister knows that they are training terrorists in the country. So the American government sent for him. It's not in a favor. It's not good for him, not a good sound for him at all. If he's sincere to the people, he will come back and say, I was sent for because Liberia is being used to traffic drugs. You know how many times in the space of less than 2 weeks, huge quantities of drugs were arrested in the country. And they're not taking note.
Yeah.
And to go bring the drugs, some got messy in the process. You think the people don't know? So that Regency, and to everybody on the show, it's not okay for this country. The international community know that what's going on in the country is getting all of him. That one the people that said came here. So that Regency, if I tell you that the people that came here, I talk to them, you will believe it?
Yeah, I will.
No, you won't, because you feel it too high profile for me.
No, I don't.
Fine. What the people wanted to know, they know it already.
All right. Thank you.
Our president will answer more questions.
Thank you. Thank you for providing first-hand information, Honorable Yeke.
Thank you.
You were there and you answered and participated. So thank you. If you're joining us on Spoon, please share the show. You know that we have Honorable Yeka Koluba here, who was actually communicating with people from the CIA when they were in Liberia. So there you have it. It is 6:16.
Dr. Richardson.
Add your point, and then I have to go on to Salimatu to talk about vice presidential picks. I know our show is a little bit disjointed, but that's how we flow at school.
Yeah, you can make serious allegation. I want questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just before you go to the questions, James, Dr. Richardson, sorry for jumping in. We just want to issue a disclaimer that what President Yeka Koluba is saying does not in any way reflect the views, opinions, and in any way our editorial policy as Spoon Group of Companies or the Spoon Network.
Okay.
We want to issue that disclaimer wholeheartedly that it represents his own opinions, and he will be held liable to provide evidence when that need arises. So we just wanted to make that clear, that disclaimer that it doesn't represent the views of Spoon Group of Companies.
Yeah, and again, I think Yeka should not go free with his allegations.
Why you arresting?
I'm talking about questioning.
But that's it. No, let's ask Yeka, but you say you're not go free.
Turn the car waiting for him.
Look at Thomas Sekeri and say laughing. Yeka will not go free. Oh,
no,
you talking to so. Anyway, you're from Lofa, you will settle.
Yes, we are in election time, and the entire country is listening to us. When people come out with topics that has to do with security, our people back home, some of them get, that fear. Representative Yeka Koluba, you talk about government or the police director and the justice minister taking 150 Liberians or 150 people, and you are alleging that 125 of those people are from the CDC. The 25 from everywhere. Can you, since you already have the information, can you tonight provide any link that the Liberian people will say, yes, Yeka provided fact? Is it not just another propaganda you coming up with?
So can I answer?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Mr.
When I was on your show and told you that the people are keeping rest of Minister of State, I wanted to go there that night. Why you didn't follow me? I am saying, I challenge the Liberal National Police and challenge the Justice Minister. Let them come now. Let's go to the academy. I got people watching. As soon as the poster leaving, they will tell me. I will tell you people. Let them prove me wrong tonight. I won't go there.
Okay.
It's okay. It is not from Spoon. Thank you.
No, it is from me.
Yes.
It is from me. And my information is correct.
Yeah. Thank you. And I heard you guys use the word alleged, so that's good. Okay.
No, it's not alleged. I see the people there.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Yeka Koluba. Salimatu, your thoughts on the vice presidential picks from?
I mean, as far as I know, nobody actually selected a VP.
Okay.
There was no announcement made.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as I'm concerned, nobody. Yeah, I know.
Good.
We've been waiting.
Mm-hmm.
We now see plenty of speculations, but until Ambassador Kweka or my standard bearer Alex Cummings say something. Right now, it's just talk.
It's in the air. Yeah.
It's in the air.
Yes, sir. Okay, Honorable Fagon, before we go to our phone lines, your thoughts on the news that we've been hearing about vice presidential picks?
Well, I'm so sorry that Leo ran away before I came in. I wanted to suck it to that piggy in a way that even I got my again.
Well, Leo so happy.
The boss can still hear the boss say all the people in for JMB as far as concerned, I'm certified with them. Then he go on now. Kumi's got a pick, he start in here, first choice. Lema Bowie, he forgot you and Salimatu been working with Yakula. Lema Bowie, the other person, someone that is bombastic. Then he made a comment that a former ruling party up to this point have not selected a candidate. All these people have been around. You know, in the People Party, which one concern you? They tell you didn't get candidate. You say the name floating around, he suit you. Send the name floating around, I sweet you, my brother. Go sweet yourself. But the names that are floating around, when we pick, we will pick. Even y'all, when y'all pick, we will pick. There is no difference between ANC, UPP, MDR. We don't want to make the difference. But as far as I'm concerned, they are all opposition. So if CDC finish picking their own, let the okay opposition chance. They will pick their own. Now, having said that, I come back to what Yeke just said. In one of my podcasts, and Yeke around the show, he said, challenge the police, they can, so they can go. All of them know Yeke phone. Nobody will call Yeke. And that is why in my podcast, and these views represent my view, my Eugene L. Fagon view. I made it clear that there were 203 persons trained at Camp Sandy Ware. Of the 203 persons, 1 person died in training. And these were the people that were selected through a bogus means of the central bank, and the person in charge of this operation was Civil Breeze. This whole training thing went to Lieutenant Colonel William Nyanku. I was very specific. They did the rifle marksmanship training at Camp Shefflin. Only our military people supposed to be trained in our military barracks. All the other people supposed to be trained at police academy. When you train people military style and you don't absorb them, but they are well trained, it's possible they can work for terrorists and work against America's interest. Why are you having the proliferation of arms, training a de facto army, and arming people all around our country? Why? It is a threat to the U.S. security and the Liberian security. And I say this because at the end of the day, if you train them, you can't pay them, they will find work to do. And Liberia is a good ground for terrorists to recruit. We've seen the drugs. For me, I will say, it represents my statement. The sooner the United States catches itself, the better it will be. I don't think President Weah will work with America's interests. The drugs and the training of different men in our country is a serious issue. I submit on that one.
Thank you.
That originally.
Yes.
Flomo got the police spokesman number, right?
Yes.
They're going there, did I say. If they're not training 150 people on the police academy, that already, as I speak, the post stay there because they will not leave the academy tonight. Can we go there? Can we go there? The police spokesman say the people not there. And we go there, the people will be there. That originally, don't joke with my information when I give it to you. Those people are training people to harm people. And when we go there, we will see more than 6-7 that will not speak English, will speak fuller to us. If they don't happy, I will resign as representative. I dare them tonight. Fuller will speak fuller to us, not English.
And look at the newspaper. Arbitrary killings by who? By the government. These are some of the things we're talking. Arbitrary killings. Yeah, right there. Arbitrary and unlawful killings by government.
That's the U.S. State Department report? The recent one? Yeah.
By the government.
It's the United States, yeah, human rights.
Yeah.
By the government and its agent too. Either the government killing the people and the agent ain't killing the people. Why? And you think this kind of government can work with the United States? The court
give up on the government for that thing. The American government gave up on the government already. That are registered. You please call the spokesman. Let you deny the thing I'm saying.
So James is listening to you. He's working.
James call the spokesman. Let him deny it.
Honorable Caliber,
then you're seeing your reporter. You're seeing your reporter behind me. Not leave and go to the academy. If
We're
you go
working
there,
on-
sis or someone don't speak full instead of English, I will resign to now as representative.
Yes, we'll work on
You're calling and deny.
We'll work on it. So I want to go to the phone lines. I want at least to get 5 or 6 calls from Liberians if I can. Diamond, please help me in that arena. And then if we can also do 5 or 6 calls from the international line before we do our closing. Diamond, just let the Liberian people speak to us about voters registration today. Any thoughts about that or anything else they would like to add regarding our conversation today, which related to the presidential travels and also the VP picks, if they have any comments on that. There were 3 topics.
All right, folks. Those are the topics. The numbers to call 0777-77-1075 or 0555-101075. Please go straight to the point. Make your comments heard. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening to you, sir.
Good evening, dear student guests. My name is Emmanuel Sano Jr. I do join from District 2, Peace Island, New Hope.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it's so shameful to hear the honorable man speaking in a type of manner. Yeah, Honorable is always in. Honorable Honorable is always in this attitude. Whenever you have the public platform, they always come with lies. So
Diamond, we appreciate the caller, but we're not going to have people insulting our panelists here. Thank you. Let's take care of his issues, but don't talk about how he speaks.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Peter S. Matters my name, and I call you from District 13 this evening.
Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, look, let me address the issue of the voter registration I just started today. I think the NEC have to do more well, because today the voter registrations already started very poorly, and I think they have to double up, because most of the polling places for me are voted in District 11, and most of the polling places you see poor turnout. And then the guys are working, who's supposed to do everything from work. They're very slow in the process. Isn't it? So it will catch half, and I think I'll get to get 21 days for the summers of the 5 countries. Isn't it? The performance is very poor and then slow in it. So I don't think this issue of the registration will really be done from now to the 9th of April.
Okay.
There will be extension will be made.
Okay.
And before I conclude, I mean, address the issue of the form of our president, which is GMB, coming up with a running mate. I think we Liberians don't have to crowd like the belief, because this man is very wise, and we think the best person in his own mind the best person will be selected by him. So this is not a point. So we shouldn't be involved or crying like bereaved people.
All right,
so
sir. Thank you
so much.
Two more calls, and then we'll go to the international line.
How are you?
Please reduce the volume of whatever device you're using to listen to the show. The feedback is terrible. Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Alexander. I'm phoning from District 6 in Maserati.
Go ahead, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'd like to say good evening to all the panelists, and good evening to Honorable Kolba for his hard work and always advocating for the Liberian people. I just want to speak about the text that have been linked from the CDC chat room. I think what we can do, what I can do now, is to just give the authority to all of his supporters, because I am number 6. I follow his event, so it gives me the clue that I have to go and register also in district number 6, and then district 10, I have to go and vote for him. So we can use the meet on every 1 million Liberian that have interest in Kumba. I think it's a challenge for us to also move around districts to go and register to vote for the honorable. And we should not be surprised that the president might not even surface tomorrow on the ballot paper because of what's going on. but we are watching, and the international community is watching. So thank you very much, and do have a good night.
Thank you. Good night to you as well.
Okay, can we take the last call and then transition to the international line?
Yeah, sure, we can. Hello. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for the platform, and thanks to the panelists for the topic. This is Liberia. We need to graduate from the kind of politics in Liberia. As I speak to you, I'm one of the recruit at the element. The kind of politics in Liberia, the kind of rumors that people carry around. At first, some of us who love Liberia, we used to sit down and just listen to the fallacy, and at the end of the day, nothing good comes from all about just hatred among ourselves, and we are graduating from this stage. That kind of lies, and to tell the Liberian people that people are training in the night at the police academy, we agree that the government is challenged. But these rumors that I'm hearing tonight from the honorable man, I got a respect for him. But
can I ask the guy one quick question?
Honorable Koloba, please.
Let me be on the line. I want to ask him one quick.
Are you currently going through recruitment training, sir?
I am telling you, recruitment is going on.
Are you currently going under the training?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to ask him. Let him remain on the line, please.
Koloba, please. We wait until.
Let me just ask him one question.
No, we don't want to engage our callers like that. That way, when you do your closing, I beg you. Then you get.
I want you to answer the question.
Okay. Just a quick question, sir. Are you giving a recruit number? That to say, okay, this is cadet number or this is your recruit number. Do you have anything of that sort? Because you just said you are one of the recruits, and how do we know you are?
For security reason, I will text that to you.
Okay, please do.
I won't call my name, but I will text it to you.
Okay. All right, sir. So when were you recruited?
I applied 2014. Imagine, is this regime that called us from 2014? So to tell you that the people had a database.
All right, sir. Okay, thank you.
They call us. They call me.
All right. I'll be looking forward to your text, yeah?
And I will also, if I'm opportune to meet you, I will give you my 2014 records. I will give you when I apply.
All right, sir. All right. Thank you. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Richardson, it's over to you, ma'am.
Yes, may I go to the international line to at least give 5 diaspora Liberians the opportunity to
They may confirm training going on, but we're going to detail that one. He confirmed.
Yeah, that's why I wanted him to tell us more. But 5 calls from the diaspora before we do our closing.
Okay, so
Listen,
I'm coming. I want to get rid of something here that is disturbing. When it is off, I will take the course. Okay, that person keep disturbing me. All right, so the number is there. You can call that number if you want to call from part of the show tonight. So that's the international number right there for tonight. Yeah, so let me get this caller.
What happened to the American number, the 954?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
So this is Alex Williams, and I just wanted to say something firstly. Clearly,
we can't hear Alex.
Alex, we're not hearing you. Go ahead.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that NEC cannot deny that the census result that was utilized for the demarcation, or let's say for the assignment of Christian was given to them and was done by Legis. I was the Deputy Director General for Statistics and Data Processing and the GIS consultant of NEC, Mr. Damin. work along with us, and we provided all those information long ago from the census mapping exercise that produced a population of over 6 million. The reason you see today that Legis has not been able to announce the final result and to give you number of people per electoral district constituency is because the number that they have after the elimination census mapping exercise result. So that result is in the possession, not only the result, but the maps and the locality is in the possession of NEC. So if you listen to, for example, Mr. Tilani, when he went to the NEC, to the National Legislature, he said the place or the relocated precinct on the basis of population density and things like that. What he's talking about is they are looking at the mapping data that we provided them. And he cannot deny that, and we work along with it, and they have all of those data long ago.
All right, sir.
So that's why they are using and not the actual census count. All
right, thank you. All right, so you can call that number if you want to be a part.
Man, I want to breaking news again.
Hello, welcome. Your name and where you calling from? Okay, we lost that caller.
Okay. We gave him another 2 minutes before we go to closing.
Yeah.
Hello?
Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Tia Jackson again.
Go ahead. You need to lower your monitor, Chief. All right. When you lower, you can come back. Yeah. Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Your name and where you calling from? Chief, your name and where you calling from? Go ahead.
Oh, my name is Frank Gibson. I call from Paris. To all the panelists, I just want to congratulate Mr. Leo. He's one of the most brilliant men on that particular platform. One of the smartest men on that particular platform. And one of the most experienced young men and honest Liberian on the particular Spoon platform now. Spoon platform is now being compromised by the falconization of Spoon. Using Falcon is trying to falconize the Spoon.
I beg you, go to the point. Stop attacking Falcon.
No, I'm
I don't care if we can call the other people on to be allowed to continue. Why you want him
now,
to
on the issue, there are a lot of rebels from this particular platform that they're causing disturbances in the Republic of Liberia.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Where I don't know where you come from.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. If we don't have any other callers, we're gonna move on to our closing today.
I have one more.
Okay, let's do one more and then we'll move on to our closing, beginning with Salamatu and then me and then Mr.
Hello, good afternoon.
Your name and where you coming from?
I'm Bawe Kuya. I'm a Liberian calling from Tunisia.
Go ahead.
Following your show, and I want to congratulate Honorable Yeke Koluba and studio. And I want to give him the strength and pray, give him the strength and to work for the Liberian people. I appreciate his effort and he's saying the truth for the Liberian people. If I was in Liberia, I was coming to go to district number 10 and register and vote for Honorable Yeke Koluba. Honorable Yeke Koluba, please keep the Liberian people in your heart as you continue to do always. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
That I really say my battery is going low. Can I close first?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. You know what I wanted to ask this CDC man I call as a recruit. 2016, 2017, they had a class that were on the police academy. Class 44. Mark this number. Class 44 were on the academy 2016, 2017. He said he took his test in 2014. You understand what I'm saying? He lied right there. I also wanted to ask him. There's a fuller guy on the police academy currently. They call Hassan. That had his motorbike repair place around the police depot. going to Freeport. We were after the police depot. This guy, it is alleged that this guy was involved in the alleged overthrow coup d'etat in Guinea. He was driving the president escort car, the police escort one. He's on the academy now. If we go there now, Hassan is not there, and the guy, the Hassan man, does not have his place that used to buy all the stolen motorbike in this town. I will resign as representative. No, the portion of joke with the Lebron here. That I already saying, let me tell you something today. Any information I give you about security, don't take it for joke. I told you the point on the academy, right? It has been acknowledged.
Oh, looks like we lost that Honorable Yeke Koluba. Honorable Yeke, looks like we lost you. Okay. He did say his battery was dying, so hopefully he will circle back to us. Salamatu, I'm gonna go to you to do your closing, and then I will close, and then Fagon will take us home. Oh, Salamatu, we can't hear you. We're not hearing you.
Yeah, sorry. My thought now is really on the president's visit to the U.S. We sitting here, we're saying things, and the first reaction a lot of times from people is like, "Oh, you're lying." But most people don't connect. They don't use their critical thinking skills. They don't connect information. The U.S. State Department report. I mean, as we're talking, every time I look and I'm reading it, everything that we're saying here, there's some part of it in the U.S. State report. Somewhere in there, human trafficking, government corruption. They even mentioned again the sanctions of the 3 top level officials. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And we keep playing with the information. People think it's just, people just talking politics. Liberia is at a very critical point right now. Anytime you see a country, you see government ignoring people's constitutional right. Anytime you in a situation where there's a lot of accusation of human rights abuse, there's trouble right behind the scene, like right around the corner. People's constitutional right, when we start talking about the voting, you put the system out, you didn't do any voters education, which you're mandated to do as a government. That's what you're supposed to do. In essence, you kind of deny people the right to go vote, because that's what will happen. That's what it's leading to. And when you deny people the right to vote, that means you are in violation of the Constitution. I'm not a lawyer, but we know these things not happening in plenty of other countries, and we see it happening here. We're seeing, again, a lot of high-profile visit from the U.S. And people keep saying, oh, the U.S., the U.S., the U.S. The U.S. is pouring a lot of money into that country. And when you start hearing CIA involvement, a lot of times there's some kind of threat to the American people as well. So it may not just be Liberia, it may be some kind of threat, but we don't know. If we had a government that was communicating with us, maybe we would know. Maybe we'll even be able to talk for them sometime, but we don't know. We see what we see. We're reading reports from the U.S. State Department. We're trying to put 1 and 2 together, and it's not looking good. So, I mean, I wish the president well while he's in America. Hopefully Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, he will meet with them this time, and maybe they will help him out this time. But nevertheless, Liberia will keep praying.
Thank you, Salamatu. I'm gonna just do my closing, and then Honorable Fagon will take us home. I want to just start by actually just piggybacking on something that Salamatu said before I go fully into my closing. You know, the United States respect the tenets of democracy. So voting is one tenet of democracy that they like. They appreciate people going to express their democratic rights to vote. And when they give us money to do such a thing, they've given a lot of money to protect our democracy. And for somehow they're not seeing the outcomes of our voting rights, the outcomes of allowing someone the right to participate. We should be, when you train somebody to, you know, help people to register to vote, that's some of the things they would like to see. And they're not seeing that. And so they're telling us, listen, that money is not going to training people. So we are undercutting our own democracy. And when we do that, it's almost like corruption is pouring in our country. They're seeing corruption in our country. And again, like the ambassador said, it undercuts democracy. I'm going to go back and tell you guys, we talked about 3 things here today. We talked about voting registration. We hope that things will get better. I pray that it gets better. Obviously, you know, it didn't start out well, but we hope that it will get better for Liberia's sake. We also talked about the presidential visit. We want more information. It is the rights of Liberians to know the information as to where their president is going, because it is taxpayers and donor money that allows the president to travel. So put the information on the website so we can be able to see. Okay, that's all we want to do. We don't want to play guessing games here. As for the vice presidential pick, we'll wait as it unfolds. We'll sit down and get our popcorn and our Coke and enjoy it. I love to drink Coca-Cola and enjoy it and have a conversation here. But I'm asking Liberians, don't give up. Stand in that long line, register to vote so you can exercise your right to vote. I want to tell you that I want to thank you, callers. I want to thank all of our viewers, our audience, our listeners. I want to thank James and Good Day and Diamond, James Good Day and Diamond for producing. I also want to thank Honorable Koluba for always coming to share his experience of being in the legislature and the meetings that he had with the CIA. He lets us know some primary information from firsthand information. I want to just tell you something. When you join us here at Spoon, you're getting so much more. Okay. I wrote something to the panelists that I want to share this weekend, how much I appreciate them. When you come here and hear Mr. Fagon, I call him, and he called himself AKA Fire and Guns. You know, you see his passion, his energy. He gives us something to chew on, you know, something to our ability to pop. You know, he's here telling us his thoughts. He stimulates. He leaves me. Actually, when I watch his podcast and he's here, he gives me something to think about. Not that I buy everything that he says, but I'm writing down my notes and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go find out more and more and more. And that's what critical thinking is. That's what education is. You get the information, it is up to you, and that's what he does. He provides the information. It is up to you to do whatever you want to do to get in that questioning mode. Leo, you know, Leo, as Falcon said, I wish you were here. He's so brilliant. Obviously, I enjoy his brilliance. Leo takes us into our future, and he awakens those cells, the neurons in the brain, where, you know, he questions how our laws and policies and the practices that we have right now. And he wants us to get caught up with the rest of the world. He wants Liberia to be in the future, not left behind. And of course, Father God, we missed today. You see, Father God, calmness that me, I don't honor mine, that kind of calmness. So he resonates with Liberia. He knows a lot, okay? He has the ability to gently speak what is, and it brings to the empowerment of Liberians. That's what he speaks about. How do we empower Liberians? And our only publicly recognized, when you come to Spoon, you will see our publicly recognized CDC, Warzy. I miss Warzy today as well. Warzy brings strength and courage to the program. It takes a courageous person to say, I am a seditian, but I want to come here and tell my CDC party what they are doing, right or wrong, okay? Most people will keep it to themselves. They don't want to be identified, stigmatized, or labeled. But Wasi does that. And when he's doing that, he's telling us, I want us to learn from our past. So when we move forward, we won't make mistakes that we made. And not forgetting, okay, not forgetting I call my spectacular Salimatu, the S, spectacular Salimatu. As you see her here, she has brought brilliance to the show. She radiates her beauty, but it's not just the beauty. Deep down inside and underneath, she has that spiciness, that feistiness, and she's very astute. And one thing I like, Fatimatu had that bicultural approach. She can relate to the Liberian people. When you take out their place, she bring it to you. When you take out that place, she back, she rings it very well, So she brings that approach where Liberians just love her. And I really love the fact that she's vibrating in the ears of Liberian women and men and young girls that said, one day I want to be this spectacular Salimatu. And so I thank her. And of course, Colonel Gray, when you come here, you will see a wealth of information. Colonel Gray has this background in Liberian armed forces. He works in the intelligence department. So he knows a lot. And he's going to come here and put the message that we are hearing now to the message that we should be hearing. He's going to test things out for us. And not forgetting, of course, our dynamic, insightful, politics-loving, incredible sense of humor, patriotic lover of information, all things information, the CEO, founder, and owner of Spoon. We want to thank him and his family for giving us this space to help conscientize the Liberian people. So when I tell you come to Spoon, this is what you're going to get. We're going to be bringing in many, many panelists to you to just give you a diversity of information. So thank you for joining us. Fagon, please take us home.
Wow, you finish praising everybody now. She's at the talk. But anyways, let me say to Liberians listening to me tonight, the CIA director came to your country and met with your president. What was it that he wanted to say to the president that he could not say? That he had to take him from Morovia and make him come over to the US at the CIA headquarters less than 1 month. What was about that GB soup or the pan butter or the toboggi with enough solar and pepper that the CIA director could not say? But here is what my thoughts are. And thankfully, nobody under the law can imprison me for what I think. You have the situation of the $100 million worth of drugs. Before the Americans could turn their eyes to go back into the embassy, 40 million drugs inside.
Mr. Fagon, you're breaking up. I don't know what's happening to your system.
Can you hear me now?
Much better, yes.
Clearly, you cannot deny the $100 million worth of drugs. You cannot deny the $40 million worth of drugs. And you cannot deny that the interval there tells you that Liberia has been a major hub and transit point for drugs. Place. The company that brought in the drugs, the owner and his affiliates in the government. Fast forward to the Russian money used for our elections, 17. The man who received the money appeared. Some of those who accepted some of the money appear on our platform. So there is no denial that we had Russian intervention or interference in our elections. That's strike two with the Americans. We have seen corruption on a massive scale, to include them stealing USAID money, which is United States Aid for International Development. That's strike three. Strike four, we've seen arbitrary killings and murders. And strike five, this government is behind on good governance. So I say in my closing to Liberians, If you see your government who was showing the president sitting out with party, watching football game, blinking shit or something, he was enjoying the whole America. They put all I want us, I will see it. But to come to America now, they say that who did them hotel, what they doing? It simply means that we are in a serious mess. And I'll say to the Americans that you see all this, if you think Liberians are ignorant, October 10, we will show you that we're not ignorant. We know how you feel. We know what it means to you. Our security and stability is vital to America's security interest. And for our country to be used as a transit for drugs or a place for the importation of high caliber performing weapons, or for Russians to be doing business in our country, America, the time is now. Thank you for acting. I respectfully submit.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good day. I'm going to sign off. Circling back to you guys. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Diamond? All right. Okay, that's it. And the team will be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. So bye-bye from my end.